Stuart used to do
They had the ladder matches though. That was the first one to do the ladder matches.
No, Sean invented.
No, Bret invented it. Sean stole it.
Oh, right.
I heard Luther invented.
There's been something
I heard Greg Gagne invented it.
Yes, he walked past Bret. Ladder match, bro.
Why do you lose a ladder, brother? Thanks, Nick.
Look at you walking in here looking all pretty and angry and mean and good. I know you didn't get your hair done so you could just sit down and just sit still. Hey, we trying to have a good time tonight. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. It's my birthday. No, it's not. But I still look good, though. I bet you want an autograph.
Hello and welcome back to the only wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews and reimagines the worst of wrestling's past. We are Vertical Creative, and as ever I'm joined to my left by Jack Chan.
Hello.
And to my right by Sam Chan.
Hello.
And today I, your host, have all power as it is the third of our Birthday Boys episodes, and we each had the opportunity this year to create our ultimate pay-per-view card. Have you enjoyed my offerings, Sam and Jack?
Oh, so laughing.
I think I know one you might not have enjoyed as much as the others. Yeah, when I picked him, I thought, I don't know whether Sam's going to be a fan of this guy.
His laugh is saying everything, I think.
Yes. Jack, did you enjoy No Women?
No women.
No women. Sexist men.
Worst card ever.
Cancel men.
No women or midgets. What kind of a wrestling card is this?
That's true, exactly. I mean, that you know, Tony Khan would love it, but
oh yeah, he'd love it. They're all 50 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fight forever. But yes, it is a 6-match card, and we cannot use any superstar more than once. Which I made more difficult by having 30 in one of my matches.
You had Nikolai.
Yes. I can always say I picked a main event match.
The main event.
With Nikolai Volkov in it.
Which he shouldn't have been in.
We were supposed to be in that before.
Yeah. And Haku replaced Brian Knox.
Well, we'll
spoiler.
Yeah, you might have worked out what the main event is from that. But we open my card in the year 2014 of our Lord and Saviour, and it's the JBL, and it is the opening match, which I think all three of us did, didn't we? We all picked openers, 4 openers.
I think that was the rule.
That was the rule. So my opener was the Usos versus the Wyatt family, which I made a note halfway through because I forgot the ending and I picked it. So there you go.
I didn't realise it was 2 out of 3 falls until they announced it. I thought it was just a...
I remember it was 2 out of 3 falls. But was this the end of their... Because I know they sort of just all... If they struggled for a match...
They're just carried on fighting.
Yeah. But in terms of this sort of carnation of the feud, was this the sort of blow-up?
No, I think they won the belts not long after because they had the weird...
that was before. I was waiting for that, but I think they had that. I think it was Money in the Bank. When they come out, they had the ladders.
It was on a Raw.
Was on a Raw.
You'll
have
to show it to play it then. It's the best.
It is.
Theme
it was when I was trying to figure out.
I was crying. I was so happy.
Yeah, when I was trying to figure when they was trying to get their own theme for the two. It was the whole world in his head,
but it was like
it was
fucking brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Oh well, it will be splicing in now for your enjoyment, Jack. But yeah, I
It's
must
amazing.
check that out because I didn't realise that.
I wish they had.
I think Jack, have you still got it saved on your Netflix?
I've kept the Raw on the Virgin box for ages because I just kept watching it when it's on the network.
It
No,
was brilliant.
That is amazing.
fucking brilliant.
It is Tribal Usos who head out first as champions, which obviously I don't agree with. But yes, they do have the crowd behind them. The young members of the crowd do enjoy the chant along with the Usos. Not sure about those titles.
I think
though.
they have to come out first because the Wyatts just appeared there with Rowan and then Harper behind him as the sheep mass moves.
Yeah, but couldn't they do that and then they just be in the ring waiting for them though?
Well, no.
I don't think the Whites actually won the belts either.
Ever.
Only as the Bludgeon Brothers when they won the
Yeah,
SmackDown
the
tag. That's the
SmackDown,
only main roster tag they won.
That might have given away the end.
Ah,
A gimmick that
Could have been Dusty
that
Finish.
seems to work so well in the tag team division. It's 2 out of 3 falls. Does seem to be the thing now where because Lawler mentions that every match used to be 2 out of 3 falls, which it
Yeah.
did, but it does seem now that 2 out of 3 falls seems to be tags still.
well, mine was a 2 out of 3 falls. It was the FTRV, the DIY.
And
Mark Hart.
Sam's was 2 out of 3 falls.
Demolition. Oh no, we watched Demolition.
It was
Half
the
Foundation
Mustache Mountain versus.
No,
No, that was one.
Oh, was that only one fall?
One fall.
Well, for some reason that made to me that it was 2.
I don't mind 2 out of
We
3
watched
falls.
Demolition Art.
I mean, if you watch
Foundation,
like the Saturday night's main events, it was
Yeah.
always the tag match. That was 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
And then the rope broke and it probably
But
went there.
it was always Killer Bees.
And no one wanted the second fall. Did the ROH main event was that a 2 out of 3
Yeah, that was
fall
2
as
out
well?
of 3.
See FDR keeping the 2 out of 3 fall tradition alive. Cole talks up the feud as we get the whole world in his hands. Sort of, it's like an intro, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they cut it down later because you know
It goes
WWE
on,
when they
doesn't it?
start to figuring out a theme, it changes every week.
Yeah. Seems to get shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
The core.
I do love the cool camera work of focusing in on Rowan's mask and then crazy Luke Harper appearing from behind. It is good. And to be fair, the story going in with the illegal man being pinned to earn the Wyatts the shot kind of makes sense of the 2 out of 3 falls to make sure there's no,
Well, you got to do it twice.
To make it, you got to pin both of them.
Yeah. But yes, our commentary team is Michael Cole, it's Jerry the King Lawler, and JBL. The bell sounds, and Jay smacks the sheet mask off Rowan's bonce, and Rowan recovers though, and immediately it's a power show. Jay drop kicks them down. The crowd is really. I mean, I can't remember much of Battleground 2014, but fuck me, the crowd's really good. Really good.
Throughout.
And they absolutely love the Usos. Harper's character work as well. I mean, he's so solid in him. He's sort of doing these things, and he's just so good. So good. He throws Jay into the bottom rope. I don't know whether it was a botch, but whatever happened, he just sort of bounced his head off the bottom rope.
When you saw that, was that real, or did he actually screw up or something? Because everything just stopped for a bit. There,
But it kind of suited the chaos
style,
and the style that they am, because they just don't care, do they, at all? Rowan gets a slam and a near fall. There's nice teamwork, which sees Harper lay in the knee. Jimmy Uso now gets the hot tag, and the crowd pop for the hot tag, and he runs straight into a big boot, and Harper covers him for the win. And the crowd it's like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? The crowd really do seem shocked. Jimmy is in trouble now, and he's charged and then splashed for a 2 by Rowan. Rowan puts on the head voice, which he does with the fists rather than the open palm.
shade of slaughter.
Slaughter. Did he do that?
I think he did
that,
do
to be
it.
fair, yeah. He was just talking.
Yeah, when he
usual
said it, because
shit.
obviously I only really know Slaughter from like Old Man Point and
That's
Dance
me.
Slaughter.
Yeah.
And he definitely didn't do it against Triple H at D-Generation X. Harper looks like an absolute madman as he stands on Jimmy. And then Jimmy and Harper get into an uppercut battle, but Harper is far too dominant. Jimmy flops into a tag and Jay rolls up Harper. And he's a tiny bit sloppy. He does feel very desperate, like he's really clawing and trying to get him. And it looks to me like he had his shoulder up, but we'll go with it. It's 1-1
Did look
nonetheless.
like he had it up off camera.
Yeah, it did. I mean, he nearly had him in the air.
It was weird.
Immediately, though, the heat is dumped straight back onto the champions as Rowan and Harper jump Jay to keep him down. There's a fall-away slam by Rowan, catapult into the middle rope now, and again, Harper wins the uppercut battle. The comms really go heavy, and this is where I think I forgot the ending, because the comms go so heavy on how long the Usos have been champions, which is always they're going to lose the championship.
Giving you a precursor,
So I started to get convinced that Harper and Rowan were going to win. Rowan crashes into the corner post, and then Harper misses a big boot and drops to the outside. Again, the crowd is so hot. You want to say it?
We got ourselves a flying Uso battle. Let's do it.
I wrote that in capitals.
And he said it again after.
Somewhere, Sam
I did all of this yesterday, and I just had to walk off.
When I heard it, I thought,
off.
yes, I'm glad he said it.
So we know that saying that, whenever a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Whenever JBL shouts Flying Uso, Sam cringes inside.
I love that. It's brilliant.
The crowd is so behind the match. I think he does 2 Flying Usos, doesn't he?
And we got another one. Fuck off.
Top rope crossbody now, but Harper manages to kick out. Spinning Inzaguri and a corner butt charge. He said shades of Rikishi. Did he ever do
They
it?
always say Rikishi, but it was
Jericho.
It was
Rikishi did it where they were standing up and then they fell and then he
did the stink face. Yeah, I know he would sort of. Yeah, I never remember him doing butt bump. Yeah, he used to charge him in when them standing.
Lou Margaret did that.
Yeah.
Shades of Rikishi.
Harper though is up immediately to crush him in the corner. There's an amazing twisting moonsault, and again Harper lays him out with a big boot. Harper's suicide dive. I mean, he just does it perfectly, doesn't he? For a big old bastard, he just does it perfectly.
I want to see Rowan.
Harper gets caught on the second one while with a super kick, and there's but again there's a near fall, and he's straight back up, sit out power bomb, and again I think the crowd think, shit, this is going to be the finish, and the kick out just takes the breath away. Rowan misses a frog splash. Fuck me, you're a big man. Somewhere, Kevin Nash is going, you don't need to do that. Harper is right. Jay hits a top rope splash, and again the crowd can't believe that they kick out, because I think that's their finish, isn't it? Even then, that was their finish. Yeah. Jay thinks about going up top again, but he's caught by Rowan. As a tag, but now Rowan hits a double super. Did you see the tag, by the way? When he did the tag, he just slapped Rowan's head. He's supposed to be slapping Jay.
He was in the corner.
He got him like ready. They're sort of wrestling on the top rope. And Jay comes up to sort of say, I'm going to tag, but he misses and just slaps Rowan's bald head.
Tag!
That counts. There's a top rope double superplex by Rowan, which is amazing. Jimmy kicks out. Again, mega pop from the crowd. Harper is in, so is Jay. Harper hits a super kick, so does Jay. Harper hits a lariat. Jay saves him. Harper dumps him out. Usos then hit twin super kicks and a double splash. I think, is the double splash onto Harper or Rowan? Can't remember who takes the fall, but
probably Rowan.
I think it was Rowan.
Rowan's usually the one that has to
because Harper's the one, because he did the lariat and went for the pin there.
No.
So Harper, I think.
No, I was surprised that they let Harper be the one who was pinned, but the Usos retain their gold, which really took me by surprise. But I mean, obviously, I don't need to tell you what I thought of the match.
Oh, shit.
No, it was very, very, very good. I like the way they ended the first fall with it immediately cutting off the hot tag, and then just the day would have to do the finisher. Yeah, because you don't need to.
Well, not when you're as big a bastard as Harper.
If a move gets a pop like that, you can just win with that. You know, the finishers are overused these days. And then the second fall with the roll up and everything. But the work between them, the chemistry, tag team wrestling is a lost art.
Oh, massively.
It just goes through, ups and downs.
Well, I'm hoping
this period, it was a bit of a renaissance because of these two. They just knew how to work. And there was the chemistry between them is brilliant.
Whatever you say about AEW, and obviously you can be critical of it and stuff. The one thing it does better than WWE is protect its tag division.
Yeah,
but they have to start migrating back to using tags. I mean, if you look at SmackDown, a lot of the time nowadays, it's headlined by the Usos.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show that there is quality in the tag division.
Raw was always Arcade Bro as well for ages.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wish that they sort of would focus a bit more on it.
With all the changes now, it may do.
Yeah.
Who's now in charge?
Yeah, now Vincent is... now Vincent is taking a well-earned retirement break.
Well-earned. I'm only retiring because of other things going on.
Yeah.
Want to do this?
Definitely.
I've been shagging. Thanks,
Bloody hell.
Well, he did say he was a genetic jackhammer, and that's why he wanted to leave a while back in 2001.
So?
I loved it. I really did like this match. Oh, you forget at this point. Obviously, a lot what happened, but it's just a really good tag match, and I love the Wyatts.
Well, I just say, I mean, to me, a good tag division creates this kind of magic. If you can keep, at the very least, 2 or 3 teams really hot within your tag division, you can have this. And I think the 2 out of 3 falls is such a clever device to keep the Wyatts dominant, because even though they lost this match, they look like they won every fall, if that makes sense.
Well, they dominated the first fall.
Yeah, and the second fall was a quick roll-up, and then the Usos had to go to like the extreme just to get a pin on it.
More till the third fall, until they properly got off it seemed.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But it was so well done.
What month was this?
Middle of the year.
20th of July.
July. Because I know by the end of the year they've split up the Wyatts.
Which is so stupid.
He's doing
Rubik's
Cube. Rowan's doing Rubik's Cubes.
Rubik's Cubes and wine selling and having a stairs match with Big Show.
Vince has got his bucky paws all over him.
The thing is, you know that the Usos, no matter when, in any era of the WWE, they would be a top tag team, any era.
Well,
and I'm telling you,
8 years after they're still at it.
Yeah. Well, even bigger probably now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, if Luke Harper was around in the late 80s and early 90s, he would have been a feud for Hogan. Because he's just so solid as a worker.
And in the new gym with that gimmick, I think they might have made him a bit too gimmicky.
Brett would love working.
Brett Sean would have...
Rowan would have had a Hogan feud. He might not have had a Brett feud.
I just think he came along at the wrong time. And I don't know why WWE didn't see a lot of money in him, but because now you've got so much work rate and all that, so he kind of gets lumped in with all the people. Everyone can... all these big people now can do the suicide dive. So, it doesn't quite stand out as much.
Even like a Taker Mania instead of Bundy at 11.
Everything that he was eating. He was over. Even when he just when the day needed him to be over in the Orton break. He got over. It was what everybody wanted.
Put him in the thing. He won a battle royal that any day because they just wanted AJ. And they went, no, put fucking Harper in.
I just don't get at all. I sometimes can kind of see the downside with people.
Because he's got a bit of a grey beard.
Well, it's a little bald patch.
Jesus. Well,
I mean, I think that adds to the character.
Vince had to go with him for not being Southern. Because he's from New York, he wanted him to speak with a Southern accent. And he had to go at him once.
For not being born somewhere.
Yeah, for not being Southern. Because that's Vince's idea. And I think I heard him say with bracing, he said, well, if I'm following Bray, why is it just got to be everybody from Louisiana's got to follow him? Why not everybody?
Yeah.
Because surely to McCall, wouldn't you want everybody with you?
But the thing is, like, I kind of can get behind Vince's way of thinking, I think, is very simplistic. You cater to your lowest denominator.
We need hillbillies!
Yeah. They will look at him and they will think he's a Southern hick and all that sort of stuff. But honestly, the moment he speaks, because he is so charismatic, ironically, even though they would say that's the thing that held him back, he is so charismatic because he's just got to do that or whatever he does. And he's like, what the fuck is going on here? He literally looks like Charles Manson today. I mean, he's just mad.
His time drum was just his own.
He's such a missed opportunity.
He was.
Massively missed opportunity. Anyway, we go forward now to match 2, and we'll find out whether this person will be a missed opportunity in the future. It's Gunter. It's from Defiant Wrestling's Stacked 18 show, and it's the first time ever these two will meet. Not the last, though. It is Walter who is my boy. Not Gunter. I'm not sure about Gunter.
Gunter.
He looks weird now. He's lost weight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
he's
he's
lost too much.
When I looked at him, I think he's shrunk as well.
Yeah. And
He looks
Part
ill.
of his look was that he was a bit.
He was a big
I don't
fat
quite,
thick and
I don't quite get it again. Like why people like it is men in pants. You know why do
I
you
think he
think
was-
that?
More in a Vince thing too.
We-
I watched it anyway.
It was to call him up for it or something. Vince wanted him to lose weight.
Yeah,
or he
Vince-
did it himself to help. But
He wanted
then,
him to lose,
didn't
but-
Triple H go to him and go,
Put
"You
on
want
weight.
that and put your weight back on."
Yeah, well I tell you
What?
what.
That's it. It's too. He don't need to be shredded or anything.
No,
like
look,
that,
you
'cause
this
his
package-
gimmick is that he's big.
In fairness to Defiant Wrestling, obviously they must have a bit of money behind them, or they did at the very least, because
Yeah.
the video package at the start to hype up Walter's internet championship run, and he just fucking mullers people to the
Yeah.
He just literally
He's just
beats the
Yeah.
shit out of people.
and
And
that's what you want in a big bloke because that's a monster heel.
exactly,
That's what you want.
Well, the big thing is he does. He does look like he is beating him up because I do believe that he is just beating him up.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
It's no
Either
pulling
you
of a
work,
punch.
either
He
you
always
work
looks
Walter's
pissed off.
style, or he will make you work his style.
It's such like a Brody sort of style.
Yeah,
I'm
mate.
just going to beat the shit
yeah.
out of you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
it.
can do this my way, or you can get the shit kicked out of you.
It looks believable because I am beating
Yeah,
the shit
exactly.
out of you.
That's why it is believable.
One
Because I
chop.
am going to
Just
beat
one
the
chop, that's it. I'll
Yeah.
chop you.
shit. He's so believable.
And it's
Yes.
his look and his face, and he's got it all down to a T, really.
Honestly, if they, because I think they've ripped too much of the package away,
Yeah,
and the red
yeah.
bloody robe
And
and
the theme music.
the theme music has gone. But that Walter that debuted and then was dominant in NXT UK is exactly the Walter that could be a champion anywhere because
Yeah,
he
without a
looks like a champion.
Yeah.
And you would look at him and just think, who the fuck is going to
Yeah.
beat him? Like, he's so
You
believable.
knew that Vince wouldn't get him though when there was on the Survivor Series NXT.
And he was the
series,
first one
He was
out.
the first one out in that 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, Vince don't
He's like,
understand
look at
you.
it,
Yeah.
watch
Even
him.
though he's the quintessential Vince.
I don't understand.
Um,
That's what I don't understand.
Brock would have loved. Well, he
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have because he'd have just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
They'd have just
He's
clubbed
up.
each
But,
other.
yeah.
He's
But
just
he-
a champion.
he's-
He is a bloke that you'd have at the top of your card because
Yeah, yeah.
he's a believable character and.
And there's some
worker.
people, like I've seen, people criticise. It's so easy nowadays as fans. Kevin Owens should be the world champion. Sami Zayn should be the world champion.
really
Shinsuke Nakamura should be champion. There's certain characters that just don't need the belt because they're
Yeah.
just so entertaining and charismatic. But ironically, Walter's character needs a belt
Yeah.
because he is a champion. That's
He's not
the
the
point.
final boss.
He's the
isn't
man-
he?
Exactly, that's the
The
perfect
final
way,
boss.
example. He is the final boss,
Yeah.
and I just don't. It's much the same as Harper. I love Vince in so many ways, but how he can't get this, it's just
I don't
beyond.
know.
Well,
Yeah,
it
we'll
don't
see.
matter now. He's gone.
Yes,
He's
hopefully.
fucked up. Triple
Hopefully
H,
now,
I think
Walter
Triple
will
H
have
might
some
get-
burgers.
Yeah. Put that way.
Dvorak will be back.
Get that belly back.
So his opponent is Will Ospreay. I wanted to ask you now, Sam, so we get it out of the way.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I understand why people like him, but I don't know. There's just something about him I don't like.
He is a bit
He's a
sort of what's it called? One of these hipster drinks. He reminds me of a hipster wrestler in many
He's a
ways.
heel. You only gotta
But
look
he's
at
a
his
heel.
face and I'll just think, oh, he's
a
that's
heel.
slappable. Face.
And that's what part of the reason why I picked this match is one, I actually quite like Will Ospreay as a wrestler, but he is a heel.
I think
And
he's
seeing someone beat the living shit
Yeah.
out of Will Ospreay is
Although he did have a go at Kenny Omega, no, Ospreay.
yeah.
On Twitter.
No, I
was
think
funny.
he's got a lot of
He's-
in-ring ability. It's
yeah,
just
he's-
I don't think he pieces it together right at times.
no,
Yeah.
he's-
There's
he's-
one part.
Some stuff that he
There's
just-
one point in
you
this
don't
match
need to
where
do.
Sam and Jim Cornette will lose their shit,
Yeah.
but we'll get to that.
I know.
Yeah, there was. I watched this and
There's a
I was.
appearance.
I don't know. It was like all over the place.
I
But
know
anyway,
what you mean.
we'll get to it.
So Ospreay enters to his very cool-looking Japanese-style robe, and I think his theme song is called "Bring It Down," which is sort of hyping up him as the aerial assassin. Why anyone would ever change Walter's theme from Dvorak's theme?
This one's slightly
It is slightly
rockier,
different,
which I do like this version.
but it's free use. That's the
Yeah,
thing that I
no,
don't
yeah,
quite
yeah.
get. Like, I can understand Vince going, well, we are going to pay for Cody's theme long term and all that sort of stuff. I get that, but this is free.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to pay for this.
You ain't got to pay the bloke who did it.
It's like changing Macho. You know, if Macho Man was on the
Macho Man
Indies,
owned that thing.
but it's free use though.
Yeah, well, I
common
think he
circumstance.
bought the thing because Gorgeous George. Okay. He was the first
But-
one to own.
It's like you have him on the Indies using Pomp and Circumstance. He comes in and he's got some fucking generic thing. You know what I mean?
What up, Matt? It's just WCW.
The commentary team do a really good job of putting over how
He
dominant
drew
Walter is.
McIntyre on commentary.
No,
Sounds like
it really
him,
does.
I
It's,
thought it was him.
Larry someone or other his name.
Larry
is.
Lamb.
Larry the bastard.
But he's so fucking. He does sound like
I
Drew
thought it
McIntyre.
was.
I thought it was for a while,
He
and
was
then I
in-
caught a glimpse. And I thought, well, there.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, Drew's in the Fed.
Yeah, it's Larry someone, and he I think he
Oh,
does a
okay.
lot of commentary for ICW
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I think he's all right as a commentator.
Yeah,
in fairness.
They're both all right. Very Scottish.
Yeah,
Both-
but that
they're
kind
both-
of helps, I
They're
think.
both very Scottish.
Yeah. Big time introductions, and we get the show off of the belt. I'm not sure that Walter really is that arsed about the Internet Championship,
Yeah.
but hey ho, we'll suspend our belief for a moment. Will Ospreay tries for Walter's leg, and again, immediately, Walter just shows that he's got the power of superiority and throws him away. He then tosses Will aside, and the UK crowd start doing their football-style chants. Ospreay demands respects with chops and a handspring Pele kick. It's very sort of giant killer-esque, even though they're pretty similar size.
Yeah,
I think
he's
you
the
know,
big man, little man.
he'd
kind
still
of thing.
play that. Walter dodges Will dodges and Walter pounds. That's basically the start. There's a big boo by Walter. Will sells the shock of Walter's chops. I do think that's one thing you've got to give credit for Will Ospreay, because even though it is most of his matches are spot fests, he's very expressionate in his face.
Yeah, at least
Like,
he
you
has
can-
that.
He can sell.
Yeah.
I think he's got the tools. It's just
I can
he just
understand
needs
why.
to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can understand why Omega's where. Although I mean, Ospreay would probably tell you
Well,
he's
he'd
the
be
best
IWGP
wrestler.
champion.
And isn't he got the record? I know we don't pay any attention to it, nor should we. But hasn't he got the record
Oh,
for
no.
the highest number of 5-star matches from Dave Meltzer? I
Omega.
think he's
Ospreay.
Ospreay. I
Well,
think
now
he's had
that
like
Nick-
about
Nick
18.
Jackson- I think Nick
Jackson's
Jackson is
got
the one
the
with the most
most
plus
4-star.
4,
Oh, is he?
which is
Yeah.
amazing. I love
Yeah.
that stuff.
Nick Jackson.
Why do
Nick
we
Jackson.
herald this man? He has his opinion and his likes. That's fine.
Yeah, but that's it. That is all that
Who
matters.
gives a shit? If I give all my star ratings, are you going to herald me as a guy?
Imagine in an alternate universe where Sam is the Meltzer and Nick Jackson has got the highest amount of negative 4-star matches.
Everybody would be going, Nikolai's the best.
Nobody.
Honky tonk.
Honestly, nobody would give a shit about Omega in the books. It's because of what he's been saying. That's all.
They am good, but they
They ain't as good as
they
that thing.
shouldn't.
I don't think. I think. I kind of.
Omega.
I think
the
Omega's a
Young
good.
Bucks
I think
really
Omega's a
cool
good
stuff.
worker, but I do agree with you to a certain extent in that
People
because
listen to him too much.
and I think they've sort of branded themselves because
That's
they
the
do,
Meltzer thing.
the
Yeah.
Meltzer thing. They have branded themselves on the internet community and just sort of latched onto that. And sometimes, if you say something long enough times, people start to believe it.
Yeah.
It's ironic in many ways, but whenever I watch the Young Bucks, I get frustrated because it's just so formulaic.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Brock Lesnar in many ways. I get a bit fed up now of watching Brock Lesnar matches because I get the presentation, what you're supposed to present him as, other than Brock Lesnar, but he just feels a bit formulaic for me now. So I could do with something different. I wouldn't mind tonight, as we're recording, if Roman Reigns just does what he did to
just destroy him.
Cena and just destroy him.
or when Goldberg
And write him off.
Yeah.
Survivor Series.
Just write him off a bit and make him have to think and change his style a bit and be a bit more creative.
Like it was when you first started.
Because if you think about, there's just easy storytelling in it. The Rocky thing, part of the reason why Rocky, as a character, got over is because he lost. He lost to Apollo Creed in the first Rocky, and then what they did is he lost early on to Thunder Lips in that, and was getting his arse.
Well, good age,
yeah,
even then.
And that's what they do. You make him go away, you make him train, you make him think and outthink his opponent. I think because you present Brock as just this ultimate beast.
Yeah, he just rips everyone apart. 10-on-1.
Yeah, when's he ever got to learn how to beat an opponent?
He's a baby face, so you have to have vulnerability.
Exactly, that's exactly.
Where's his vulnerability?
Shane McMahon.
Shane's the only one who could take him.
Yeah. Fuck that. Right. Anyway, back to the point in hand. There's a gut wrench, and Will starts the rally. Huge forearm smashes now in the ropes, but Will blocks it and he takes it to the arm. Then he drop kicks the knee. There's a top rope 619 and an AJ forearm for a 2. He's so agile, Ospreay, as he moonsaults and inzaguri's Walter. But he's punished on the outside and suplexed onto the hardest part of the ring, as we all know. Will rages up, starts chopping, but walks into a boot. And then this lawn dart into the post.
Yeah.
He literally throws him into the post. There's no protection.
Yeah, I don't know whether the cut
Fuck you.
I don't know whether the cut is real or bladed.
Yeah, because
that believable. Well, I mean, he just throw him into the post.
I know wrestlers have got this art form of like making it, like Benoit does it in our next match where he gets the catapult.
Yeah.
And when you watch it back, you can see how he just gets his head out the way. Well, fuck me, how much velocity he threw Ospreay into that post. There was no time to get his hands up. It was like, you are taking this on your forehead. Walter presses L2 anyway and fills up his meter in the ring as he taunts for the crowd. Ospreay gets colour as Walter mocks the happy clappers. I do like the Andre style chops, the open palms or something.
Yeah.
But Ospreay refused to stay down. Walter slaps the shit out of him, and then it's a gut wrench style suplex, folding him up. A lovely spot. I don't quite really. Again, you have to sort of ignore the kayfabe, but when he's got him on the top, and then Ospreay sort of shoots down through his legs, and he sort of like pins Walter's head between his knees.
Cheeky Nando's kick.
Is that what he calls it?
That's what it's called.
Okay.
It's a shit name, obviously.
That is fucking pathetic. But I quite like the move to watch it, but if I watched it week on week, I would sort of.
You see it a lot these days. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I can't keep suspending my belief that he's just standing
Cheeky
there.
Nando, what a fucking name!
It ends up basically with Walter getting down and just sort of drop kicking, double fucking donkey kicking him away. Fuck off!
Oh, was it the
Finn
Balor kick?
Yeah. Doesn't give a shit. Defiant Ospreay is out, but spits at Walter before he's locked into the chokehold. He's then Germaned when he makes the rope. The crowd wince as the front row get literally a front row seat of the clubs to Will Ospreay. There's a woman in the crowd. She just looks mortified. Like, oh God, I'm watching a man be dismantled in front of me.
Wrestling.
Will recovers though to handspring in onto Walter, and then the crowd now are up as Ospreay flies over the top and over the barrier in a crossbody style onto Walter. Nice psychology. I know that's hard to believe, Sam, but there was a bit of psychology as Walter tries to win by count out. I did like that because it still puts over that he's still a bastard heel.
There we go.
What? You don't know what I'm going to say?
I know this. This comes to mind straight away now.
And Ospreay barely makes the count.
The 9.
Yeah, piss off.
He barely made the count, didn't he?
The jump, the fact that he's dead and then he jumps in.
Then he jumps in.
He does the Cena jump.
Yeah. I mean, at least Cena, you can see him moving a bit.
Yeah,
not just lying over the barricade.
Well, it is true, I suppose. He might oversell it.
Have you cheeky and fuck off.
The problem is that The problem is,
I'm hating Will Ospreay the more we talk about it.
It's Betsam hate Nando's.
we've got it.
I wore a fan of Nando's anyway, just chicken.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Osprey's turned into a Sting style head. Osprey stays defiant though as Walter kicks him. However, every blow he sells until he regains his speed and bounces up on a chop to hit an Inzaguri. Enough of this shit. Walter just clotheslines what Will doing. But Will rolls through the powerbomb and gets a near fall. It's a series of short arm clothesline, finishing off with a huge one, but he's exhausted. Crowd start loving it now. They're really into it.
They did a dual chance.
Yeah, it is an indie style crowd, though, in fairness to them. Yeah. Walter won't stay down. He hits what is that sort of one-armed... It's like a one-armed... It gets him in the gem and then turns him round into like a rock bottomy thing. Is that what it's called?
The half-Nelson suplex.
Well, I didn't think he got it.
He started up an arm and then...
But, yeah, it's like a half... Yeah, I suppose it is a half-Nelson suplex then. I'll put it... I don't even know what I called it, but whatever I called it. It was wrong. Will hit some sort of stunner. Now, this is where fucking Jim Cornette would lose his shit. So, Walter just is sort of draped over the ropes, but he has to hold the bottom rope to keep his weight so he can lean forward. And because Will Ospreay has to go on to the top to do his fucking 450 shit, he has to stay there for about 30 seconds, just waiting.
Will Ospreay taunts as well.
Yeah, when Will Ospreay does his taunt. It's like, this is Walter. Like, I could get it with some fucking funny indie wrestler, but Walter really should just get up and just fucking push the bloke off the top.
No one would be lying on the top rope.
No one,
unless they're unconscious.
Yeah, but if you're going to do it, you got to do it quick. You can't do it as fucking slow as they did it.
Pop taunts and then do a shooting star.
And then he hits 2 shooting star presses, but that's not enough to keep Walter down. Walter clotheslines the back of Will and then locks in the choke. He's so close to having the third arm drop, but he fights back. One final rally, but Ospreay can't hit the cutout. He's caught. He's hit with a Rikishi driver. I think is that the right name?
Well, it's Fire Thunder driver, but it is the Rikishi driver. Well done.
Exactly, and it's more like Rikishi than the Usos.
Maybe that's his dad.
And he's choked out this time, which I do think is the right thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Will's done. The crowd do show respect for the match, but I do also like the fact that Walter doesn't really show any respect. There's no fucking handshake.
Why should he?
Yeah, no, it's Walter.
Face off.
Yeah.
Beat just go on, really. Yeah, thanks for.
I have beat up a man. I am satisfied.
Yeah.
Now I go home.
Now I go for it, Endo.
Cheeky one. Did you enjoy that match, Jack? Because I think I know where Sam's going.
I do. I did enjoy
might appear at the end of our poll.
I did enjoy it. I doubt there's bits that are very current wrestling climate, which I could do without. Which it just takes the believer. I know it's wrestling and it ain't real and everything like that. We all know that, but when you want just to laying on the top rope and diving in at 9, it's a bit like, well, yeah. I don't need that. Come on, make it at least look like a fight.
Yeah.
Which is, I wouldn't watch a film and I want to see the fucking strings on people and all this sort of shit.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted.
This is what it feels like. It's bad CGI sort of stuff. But there's bits that are shite. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. I do think Will Ospreay's improved a lot since this.
Yeah, he's better now.
He's a lot better now because I think he's figured out his character, and he is bigger. And I think he's figuring out his character a little bit more now, which helps him. And Walter's just Walter Reid. I mean,
he's gone for now.
It's a good job he was in this match, because he's brilliant.
It's 4 years ago, and anyone didn't realise at that time he should have been world champion.
Get him and put the belt.
I only ever had to watch him once, and I thought, well, this fucking bloke's amazing. I've never known anything like this.
This bloke gets it.
And if you don't get it, he'll make sure you get it.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, it was a bit too indie-rific for me. Yeah. As I said, I don't really hate Will Ospreay as much as I thought. Now I do. Because of it coming back, I just thought, well, what? I can understand in a way the big little man you got to drop, but then again, if you am literally fighting somebody like Walter, you ain't just going to go and jump on a wall and then try to keep doing that. You're just going to keep trying to fight him.
But you don't really get the psychology of the hope spots, did you?
No, I think that's a fair point. I think that is a fair point and a fair criticism is that maybe his hope spots were a bit, just off. They didn't quite work.
I think I prefer Zack Sabre Jr. to Will Ospreay.
And the difficulty I had is that the best Walter match, the best Walter match.
Not his promo.
Have you? It's off topic, but have you heard like his promos where he always talks about George Michael?
Zack Sabre Jr.
He talks about George Michael. He says he sees him, he goes, "All right, George," and George will tell him what you're doing and all this shit.
What the
like
shit
George
is this?
Michael is advising him. He did it on the last New Japan show.
Did he? You get what he says to George.
He's like sitting on the floor with a walk because George Michael appears.
George gets the mic and goes, "Well, I guess it would be nice."
I think he
So don't watch the promos because you're dated.
He takes the piss, though, I think. Zack Sabre Jr. I think
Japan.
But he's
Promos
more
are
technical.
bad, we
He's
know
very technical.
He's very sort
And
of.
he does take Walter's shot brilliantly. I keep watching that.
Yeah,
Without
thin
but-
arms.
he's very late.
He is very Rodney Chopper. He's proper little Rodney.
But I love Walter.
That is amazing in many ways. I didn't know that.
I don't know.
I'm glad we've
Just put it
said.
on YouTube.
I'm glad
Right, there we
we've
go. That's
segued
something
into
to
that.
watch after the Wyatt theme that we got to show you.
It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Right, match 3 then. We go to a Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble 2001. And yes, I've gone there. I don't care. Appearing in my card is Chris Jericho versus Chris. We'll leave it there. It's Chris Benoit for the Intercontinental title in a ladder match. And the second match on this card, the first match, had a title change.
Yes, totally.
Our challenger is out first, correctly. No messing, though, as...
I think all the matches on this show, other than the Rumble, was title matches. Because then you had the women's title and the world title, and then the Rumble.
And I think all 3 belts changed until Angle retained, I think.
The woman's day changed. That's when China did the thing where apparently a neck at a neck and just lay there. For
But I
ages
thought
again.
she lost the belt for that. Was that?
No,
She wasn't
No.
champion going in.
First won the belt at
Mania.
And who
And I
did
don't
she
want
drop it to, or did she just
They
sort of
just
like
got
retire?
fired and they left it till Survivor Series 1. At
Is
the
that
end
when
of the
they-
invasion.
It
was
wore
when
him
they
during the invasion
No.
at all.
Gosh. So no messing anyway with this match. We're straight into a brawl. Jericho corners and chops and stomps Benoit. JR tells us the story of the match is basically that Jericho's carrying an arm injury into the match, and Benoit tries to lock in the crossface. He then tosses Jericho into the ring post and hits a shoulder breaker. So again, he's zoning in, working over the arm. Jericho then crashes on a springboard, and again he's thrown into the ring post, this time on the outside, and Benoit gets a ladder. Benoit goes up, but Jericho stops him. Jericho lances Benoit with the ladder and then sets it up in the corner. But as fate would have it, he ends up catapulted into it by Benoit himself. Benoit gets... Oh, God, watching this back. This really don't age well with what happened. But
That was
Benoit
just
gets...
the dive through the
Jesus Christ, he gets cracked in the face with a chair on a suicide dive.
Yeah.
And Jerry Lawler fucking loves it. Show it again! Jesus. Watching it back is not.
When you see stuff like this, you think
It's a great landing as well, to be fair to him. I mean, he does just splat. Like, I've got to just splat.
Don't he just splat but like bad just a little bit as well?
Yeah. I mean, this bloke had no regard for his own body. Did he? Benoit at all.
And we will leave that.
Yes. JR reminds us that you can't learn this at wrestling school.
Can you imagine if they did do that? Right.
Well, that's
Today's class, you've got to dive at me.
To be fair,
You've got to take this chair.
Jerry Lawler does say, well, you could. Give me a chair. Fair enough.
Come here.
Benoit does now charges the ladder into Jericho's face. There's a few chair shots, and Benoit now starts to look dominant. Jericho, though, rolls through a running slam and pushes Benoit into the ladder. The lovely spot where Benoit is caught with his leg in the ladder, and that then gets pulled backwards with the ladder crashing on top of him. Benoit then lays in a drop kick, and fuck me, he lays in that drop kick. The ladder is set up in the corner. Benoit goes head first into it.
Is this when he's like across the thing? And he hits it.
He goes into it, but then the next spot is the seesaw.
Oh,
spot.
that.
And obviously we saw what happened to Mercury, but if you actually watch it back, Benoit took it so well because he literally just.
I was gonna say,
he was like there, and he went whoop.
I was
like
gonna say,
that.
you don't see he put his hands off. Or did he actually get clipped
Yeah,
or
it
something?
was so tight. But Christ, it's a horrible spot to watch it. The action is absolutely relentless. As Jericho missile drop kicks the ladder now, Benoit viciously pounds Jericho to stop him climbing up. Then he hits a back body drop on him to the outside. Jesus Christ, what's happened there?
What, in the match?
Russia have invaded Livingston by the looks of things. Where was I anyway? Benoit claws for the title, and for the first time we see the walls of Jericho on the top of the ladder. Is it the first time that was done?
The walls on top, I think it was.
I think it was.
Well.
Yeah,
I don't
because
think he'd been in a ladder already in the Fed. Jericho until this match.
No, I was thinking of when he did it in the TLC match against Edge, but that was SmackDown after.
Yeah, that was after.
That was in May or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? So,
Wasn't
yeah,
he teaming with Benoit as well?
Yeah, those tag champs.
Yeah. So
it's TLC 3 or 4.
Well, it gets a massive pop, so I think it must be the first time, and it is a really good visual. And again, Benoit's selling.
The one he did on Edge, he was actually in the thing over 2 ladders.
So
Edge was like crab on there. So yeah, it's different.
But yeah, it does look amazing. Proper good visual. Benoit, though, I do love this, but Benoit sort of drops, but he's just got enough strength to knock the ladder with his foot, and then they shout the Wile E. Coyote cam, as Lola calls it. Jericho jumps into the crossface, and Jericho taps, which does give, at the very least, Benoit a visual win in the match. Jericho battles back and corners Benoit, but Benoit blocks a superplex and goes for a headbutt, and again, no regard for his own body.
I love that, the falling headbutt.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, it just looks better to
really,
me where you
just flop.
Let yourself just drop. I know he has to because he's on a ladder.
Yeah,
but I always think it looks better.
Yeah.
Instead of dodging.
Just let gravity do it for you.
But I mean, he doesn't protect himself because he bounces. He proper bounces.
It's like, bloody hell, mate, God damn.
He's got no regard for himself. I've never.
It's got to look real, brother.
It's really lazy, dude. I've never known it. Jericho puts the ladder onto Benoit, which. Okay, that's a good idea, but Benoit just goes, alright, fuck off. Just lifts up and...
when is he climbing and he's trying to push...
Just sort of
they always do that.
Yeah, I just think, well, that's stupid. This is just going to power up.
Push you
up.
Jericho uses a chair to try and stop Benoit and ends up pushing Benoit to the floor. The crowd and JR especially, but you can tell Vince is in his ear, fucking
sell it.
Yeah. The only thing I would say with this ending is because Benoit's on the outside. I think Benoit gets up too early, so he has to do the fucking thing.
I think
comic crawl.
And it don't suit Ben again. A bit like what we said with Walter. It don't suit Benoit. He's better off splat and done.
Just
because if we know he's up, I'm losing. If Benoit's up and competitive, he should be in the match. That's the thing. So when you have to suspend your belief that was enough to beat him, then it doesn't make any sense.
I get that.
But I mean, I loved the match, Jack.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It is a bit of a forgotten... I know it's because of somebody's in it. But even when he was alive, I think it was a bit of a forgotten ladder match, this one. Because of Rumble, you don't expect this
You don't really get these kind of gimmick matches.
I think they really did use the ladder in creative and psychologically made sense.
Yes.
With the way...
That's what Jericho did well in ladder
matches. For the sake of spots. It was psychologically, it makes sense why them doing this, and then it leads to this, and then it leads to this. And I think it's a really, really good match when, Jericho's starting to find his groove in the Fed. Benoit's feeling like he's moving up to the top as well. Yeah, so it is psychologically, it's as good as ladder matches you're going to see. Apart from the ending where he gets up a bit too quick.
That's the only thing I can knock it for. I mean, I'll go as far as to say I think, I haven't seen every single ladder match. I think as a singles ladder match, I'd struggle to find many better than it.
Sure. Mercy,
maybe that's the
yeah,
only one you could
and again, a
do.
lot of that was Jericho as well.
Yeah.
Because I think he heard on one of his podcasts when he was in the Money in the Bank in like
Couldn't have Sean now
2014.
because he's in the Rumble at the end.
Well,
so.
in 2014-15, he was in the ladder match. It was the one where they did all the promos on it, and he sat on it like that.
Yeah, with his arms.
With his arms
legs
crossed.
yeah.
Yeah, with his legs
That
crossed.
was a really good Jericho.
Jericho. But I think he said it there, but I was coming up the match, and everybody's like, "Oh, what about these spots?" And Jericho, and I think he said maybe somebody else just went, "No, we're not doing any of this crap. You've got to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
That's
are
the
you
big
stacking all these ladders for it? Why? What am you after?"
Yeah.
So I think he understands what a ladder.
The best
match can be.
psychology in any ladder match ever is obviously Regal and Dave Taylor.
Well,
Yeah,
We're
when
not
the day
gonna
one
fucking
call,
close.
we got a good get it.
But that leads nicely.
Paul London did say, to be fair, I've heard in a shoot interview as well, in that Fatal 4-Way, where he said that people were saying you're going to do crazy spots, and he said, well, why would I? The main aim is to get the belt, so
Yeah.
you've got to make it. You got to. If I'm going to do something and everyone's down, I'm just going to go for the belt. They're going to try.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, we'll nice segue into the promo in a minute,
Yeah.
but it is actually his high. Again, I know we probably giving him too much airtime, but it's Meltzer's highest rated Regal match. That is, and maybe that's because obviously there's the fucking other stuff that's going on. But they are the star of that match. I mean, they're so.
They
yeah.
got the character work.
Yeah.
That's what you need as well. You need.
And that goes quite nicely into my promo package, because every pay-per-view that we've chose to create, we have added in a promo package, and mine takes us to the opening segment of Raw on the 2nd of August 2004. Again, I'd forgot this match because I watched the recap at the start. Did you watch the recap as well?
Yeah.
She recaps last
The
week,
Iron Man.
and I forgot that they did an Iron Man.
Yeah, on that Raw,
Raw.
they only had two matches: the Battle Royal for the number one contender, which Orton won, and then the Iron Man, because it was 60 minutes. So obviously 2 hours of Raw.
Oh, I'm going to watch that Raw back, I think. But yeah, it's the recap of the Iron Man match between Triple H and Chris Benoit. There is also a chair shot to the back of Benoit.
Yeah.
That looks
Yeah,
very
we
fucking
do.
vicious. Stop doing this, Benoit. But yes, Eugene's return to a decent pop. He must have got written off. I think, did he turn on him, Triple H?
Yeah, I think because he was like playing him.
He was over, to be fair.
He was. He hadn't
was
long
then, yeah.
started. I think Eugene.
SummerSlam kills him.
SummerSlam
That
kills
was
him.
the problem.
Every SummerSlam he was at, he got booed because he was against Triple H and Angle. Angle just walked up and slapped the shit out of him.
I mean, in
when
fairness
they
to
were fighting.
WWE, in that it's hard to do much more with what they did with Eugene.
With the character,
the character. Are you hating on Eugene? Or are you hating on the character? Or are you hating on the wrestler? It's just
Well,
difficult
this was
because
his idea. The character was his idea.
yeah, and I
Because
don't think-
he'd been in developmental and he'd been wrestling since, was it like the
Yeah, the problem
early
is-
90s?
solid wrestler.
And he just thought, this is my way of being called up, so I'll come up with this character.
I just think, you look through it with, nearly 20 years ago now. You can look at that and think, oh God, it's a bit crass and a bit
Yeah, it's
tasteless and stuff. That's only because of how the heels got heat on Eugene, because they
Which is what
made
they're
a focus.
supposed
Yeah, that's my point.
It's a
So
heel,
what?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what a
exactly,
heel does.
and that's the point. So I think
It's
mainly
actually
his
not
character
real.
died because maybe they just pushed him too high on the card for what the character was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Hmm.
But then, what the fuck are you supposed to do with him then? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I suppose you just turn him into a bushwhacker, though. You
Well, I
really
mean, he's a solid worker.
He
and
did later on.
He would have just been like one of them, and there's nothing wrong with it, but one of the lower ones of,
Yeah.
I'll get people who coming in ready to get in. So,
But I can understand why WWE went with him at this point, because that reaction when he came back and he cost Triple H the belt, he took him out there and
Yeah.
took out all of Evolution. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So across the nation plays, but Triple H won't let it play. He's out. straight
It was
away.
funny because you
He's
could hear him, and I thought that's still just going to carry on anyway.
He cuts a shouty, pissed off promo about going 60 minutes with
It was
Benoit.
too long, this program.
Little
It was
bit,
Triple H.
but yeah, this-
At the time.
It's 2004. Triple H had the first 15 minutes of Raw. That's
Yeah.
the point. He says that he fought his heart and soul out as if his life depended on it, and he did, because the title is everything to him. I do like that. I always like a heel that really puts over how much the belt matters. Eugene took that away from him, though. Triple H puts over how angry he is, and he ends up. I love the ending. Eugene.
I think that's what a lot of people point to. It's just how funny it is.
Yeah, it is funny.
But it's just the name Eugene.
Yeah,
Just shouting that angrily over
I think because of how Triple H, how serious and how angry and shouty he gets with it.
Then, though, the juxtaposition of angry, furious Triple H, and then dear, somebody's lost his temper. Oh, fucking brilliant!
Yes.
He tells us that Eugene isn't here tonight. Regal asks what kind of diabolical villain would tell Eugene to get involved in that match last week. It was me, sunshine. Oh,
I think this is his face text. I think he'd been a heel, hadn't he? Because he was.
This was, yeah.
Because he was.
You could tell. I think they was doing a soft turn where you could tell he was starting to like and care for Eugene.
Because there's that training montage either, which is brilliant because of Regal and that. But this, I think this is his official face turn.
Yeah,
I think
he's just. Oh god, this bro, it's just.
We're both born naughty.
Yes,
that, bro.
Regal tells us that he was Triple H's mentor and they were a tag team in WCW, so they gravitated to each other because they were both born naughty.
I wish I'd have had that shit.
And he said he would have applauded if it was anyone else that Triple H had attacked. He would have applauded Triple H's cunning, but it was Eugene, and it was very foolish to take advantage of a disadvantaged boy because he's made an enemy of William Regal. He gets hot and he says he'll gladly go back there, get his gear, get his gear and do battle with him with every ounce of violent venom that goes through my veins.
Did he go into a Shakespeare?
And the fucking there's a little moment when he's just getting hot where King just goes, wow, like you can hear him just go, oof, that's fucking, and the crowd pop.
Yeah,
and the reason I think that it's got so much, it resonates. One, because it's a really good promo, but it feels so real because there's no like. You don't cut straight into across the nation and here's coming up next, fucking Triple H, fucking Regal. It's like it's happened and no one knows what's happened now and he's just finished and he just walks off and then they have to regather themselves to carry on with the show.
And Triple H is still in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, Regal's phrasing as a Brit is just fucking amazing. But it's the passion because it's this for this story to work has to be believable. Has to be. And because he has been a comedy character for most of his run, hearing him talk the way that he's talked with so much passion, so eloquent, it's just so fucking good.
He can do both. He can be the goofy heel, but he can be the really serious, vicious heel.
Yeah.
And he can be like this impassioned babyface.
I think it actually opened up a new face to the character anyway, in that people now started to think he is a villain because he's openly saying, "I'm a villain. I'm a bad guy. I'm naughty.
More naughty."
But even that, there's a bit of carry on with him.
Well, I think he does like the old British comedies. Like he said that's what he used to look like.
But I just love it, and I think you can tell that Triple H respects the hell out of Regal anyway. Yeah. The match afterwards as well is so well done. The fact that Triple H has to cheat to beat him, but it's so vicious, the attack.
And I think
he's then looking up at him with the neck brace on, really.
With I think that's the image when you see it.
It's just so.
And I think he beats him up again in his hotel because I think Eugene comes back and then you see him beat Regal like bloody and everything.
Send the message to
Eugene!
I just love it. I wish they'd have done more.
I thought the Regal bit was longer. I thought it was longer for some reason.
No, Triple H gets 20 minutes.
Yeah, of course he does. Of course.
But I just fucking love it, Jack.
Yeah, it was very good. It did feel like sort of a new phase for Regal and the crowd and with him.
When the pop when he gets really angry at the end of the promo, it's just
that's the barometer, and they was with him all the way. So I thought it was a really good promo.
Well, I think it's really hard as well, harder than you think for Regal to turn face because he's never, other than when he was with the Alliance, with the WWE against the Alliance and was de facto face.
Yeah, he was never really.
He was
a face.
never really a face. So, and
Even
literally,
in WCW.
it's that promo where people, there's a sort of smattering of applause and recognition that he's come out
Just to respect.
to interrupt Triple H. But by the end of it, he's a babyface.
Yeah.
That's the art form. If you've got the amount of talent to turn a crowd like that, it's like Jake. Jake's always been that way. Jake literally could cut a promo and go from fucking babyface to heel. Or heel to babyface, just like that.
Yeah.
And I think Regal's
See
doing
my
that.
birthday.
Yeah, but also that was slightly longer than the promo that we saw.
Well, he did it with Cody, didn't he? When he come out and this is the best promo on AEW for ages.
For the long, yeah.
Old drunk man. Because he's
With
so
just that one phrase, or it?
Now turn your back
On anybody that you feel all respect, and he
just turns his back.
turns his back and throws the mic back at him.
Just genius, isn't it? It's just genius. And you can tell Regal's still cutting, really good promos now. And I know he's surrounded with a lot of talent in the BCC. Yeah, thanks, Regal. Yes. But I do think that wouldn't work. That can't work.
It wouldn't work without Regal.
It can't work without
him.
Yeah.
Makes the group.
They wouldn't be Blackpool.
I saw the training montage that they did with
Wheeler Yuta.
And
he's got the promo.
oh, just fucking brilliant.
With his old angry face.
Yeah. But the thing is, with him, like AEW to a certain extent, and I understand why they do it. There is a lot of respect for the sort of older people where they want to keep the lineage of wrestling, and they keep Tully Blanchard around, and they keep these. But like Regal, as long as he is able to speak, should be involved in wrestling because he has got that amount of ability. Yeah. A bit like Dusty Rhodes in many ways. Dusty Rhodes just never became irrelevant in wrestling. No. I think sometimes you can have people around for a bit too long when they just, their time's come.
JR.
Maybe. Well, that's a podcast in itself. Maybe we should just do a podcast where we just do audio and we just listen to JR's
I love him,
fed up, pissed off.
I love him, but you've 70 out there.
Yeah.
I think you might.
Tope Suicida.
I think you've earned your time away.
Yes.
Go and relax.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I do respect him, but he's
go away for a bit now.
He's a grizzled old beaver.
We've got happy fat Taz. That's what we want.
Everyone wants Taz.
Taz, bring Taz.
Speaking of JR, our next match then takes us to WrestleMania 13. For the second time in 2 podcasts running, we were at WrestleMania 13.
I thought we've done a lot of this show and they're actually doing it.
That's true, yeah.
When we do
the Vader podcast, we can explain why he's in a tag team with Mankind against
Owen and
Bulldog. But anyway, the match that we're going to be reviewing is Bret Hart versus Steve Austin. You might have heard of that match.
Is it the follow-up to the match, are you?
Which
the Final Four match?
Oh, of course, yeah. This match is very much about Bret not receiving the respect that he deserves. And I think in the go-home show of WrestleMania, or close to it, is where he pushed Vince on his arse.
Because they had the cage match between Bret and Sid for the belt.
Was it Taker who cost him?
Taker cost him because they said if Bret wins, then his match with Austin for the belt. So Austin was helping Bret, and Taker was helping Sid because they both wanted the title. So it was a clever way of doing it, really.
Plus,
that was starting to really get it.
And they completely blur the lines of heel and face.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'll say with the blurring of lines is it's all good and well, but Vince don't do subtlety very well on comedy.
No.
Fucking hates Bret now.
Yes.
There's no subtlety.
There's one bit that I just thought Vince, if he was backstage, he would be telling him to do something.
Which we'll get to. I'll tell you what they don't realise in terms of nuance as well is the fact that Ken Shamrock doesn't necessarily mean that you have to project green shamrocks into the ring when he's out. I mean,
Shamrock.
Why have you just fucking done that? He's not Irish.
They should have had a lot of shamrocks and Ken dolls.
Yeah, he should have come out in green and white, green and orange
He's
stripes.
Irish man.
Anyway, Austin doesn't get as big of a pop as I thought he would. There is a bit of a sort of cheer. Is this the first time they've done the glass shattering?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is,
yeah.
It is a really cool image, and it does work, especially in the late knockings of the new gen going into the Attitude Era before they had the big trots and stuff. Yeah, I quite like WrestleMania 13 as a set, even though it's really understated.
Yeah, it's just a tunnel, and
I kind of like it.
The ethos of what the company
Was at the time,
was
just a bit really rough and Well,
dirty.
Sometimes
Dirty.
Sometimes
too overproduced now.
Exactly. So that's what I'm thinking with SummerSlam tonight. Like you can imagine, it's just going to be sterile and
it's just
too overproduced.
What is it?
light,
Pasteurised, homogenised.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
And when we go to Cardiff, Christ knows what we're going to have there.
Big fucking dragon.
Really fucking dragons everywhere. Fuck's sake. But yes, Austin doesn't quite get the crowd back in, but if the signs are anything to go by, he's on his way.
Yeah.
Bret steps through the broken glass of Austin as Vince tells us of a mixed reaction.
Boo this man!
I'm sure there was a mixed reaction. I thought he got a good pop, to be fair. He hands off his glasses and Austin takes him down. The intense brawl spills straight.
I did like the beginning where he just looked away and then just leg dived him. That's the.
I mean, Austin's nuances of his character here, that's just fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But I tell you one thing, I mean,
this crowd, my God, that just was loud throughout this match.
This is the match, isn't it? This is the Mania.
This is the main match. This is the one you remember. From 13.
And the road agent work for this is fucking amazing because it's like you would obviously rip the living shit out of each other, just spill into the crowd and do whatever you need to. Sends him in. Austin is sent into the ring post and Bret is crotched and then clotheslined off the guardrail. I do like Captain Lou playing the steward in the crowd for a while. That did make me laugh.
I think was this the one where he crotched him and he kicked the security block? So I think the security was telling somebody to do. And as he walked back, you saw Bret kick him in the head when he got back.
Austin takes a drink and cracks it over Bret's head, which again is nice character work and something we certainly didn't see in WWE. The crowd really react for the brawl, and like I say, just suits the feud so well.
Yeah.
Lawler tells us, Lawler tells them to hit a drunk guy in the crowd. That made me laugh. And Bret reverses a pile driver as Shamrock now tries to steer the match back to the ring, but not before Bret is crashed into the steel steps. Austin ducks his head into a swinging neck breaker, and this is where Vince just starts to turn on Bret, basically saying, "Oh well, he'll have an excuse if he loses, won't he, fucking bastard?" He's
out of touch. He feels like
it feels like you're telling us that we should boo it. You've got to let us decide we don't like him anymore.
That's why I think the best thing is get off fucking commentary.
Yeah, and I think he must have realised that because I don't dislike Vince's commentary. It's okay for the era that it was in.
Yeah,
like the 80s, 90s. Now it's
you can
like,
tell that.
Shut up.
JR and King suited it better.
Yeah.
They got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then you've just got Vince in the middle.
Vince is better in a black and white era of clowns. And, well, not that, but the clowns.
Well, probably that as well.
Face and heel, and we know cartoon world. But
I can just imagine there though.
I
can just imagine silent era wrestling, and when it comes up the cue card, it just goes, "What a maneuver!"
What a maneuver!
Oh, brilliant. Anyways, Bret starts zoning in on a body part, which Bret always does well. He targets the left knee of Austin. Austin dodges one and hits a stunner, but it's no good for submissions. And I love that as well, the fact that Bret, even though he's the face, he has the advantage because he's finisher. He's a cert.
And I don't think they realised until they announced it on the show. I think Austin has said he was at home watching Raw, and then he saw that they announced a submission match. I think he called Bret and did you know this?
But ironically, even though I can understand why Austin would think, well, he took away fucking half me, I'm a brawler now.
Yeah.
But it kind of works because, like I say, it makes him the de facto underdog in a time where he should, you know what I
So
mean?
it's
He
like
should-
that kind of was starting
Yeah.
to go, okay, we know Austin's going to be the face, so it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
we've got to try and push it.
It
that way.
is just ironic in many ways,
Yeah.
but anyway, he hits the stunner, which is no good for the submission style match. Bret drags Austin into the steel post and locks in the figure 4 again. I don't know whether it has been done at that point. Probably has.
Possibly on Sean.
Yeah,
Maybe he did it 12.
on
did he?
Diesel as well.
Oh, he did it on Diesel, but it still does get a really good pop, and it does look impressive. Bret grabs a chair now and sets it up to Pillmanize Austin, which Vince tells us. I know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So do we.
He did this to Brian Pillman.
Vince.
That's why Pillmanoid.
Vince. We know.
Vince.
Watch it,
Vince. Sorry.
But Austin is up to crack Bret with the chair. The
Oh,
crowd.
that's brilliant, though. But hang on, this is the bit which I really love, and this is why I really like Bret. Because he got the ring bell, but he just left it.
Yeah.
And then he went, fuck it, I'll get the chair. He got one chair, and he thought, that's too paddy, I'll get the other one and throw it in.
Yeah.
And then he just...
It's
the-
clever
It
work.
ain't like a clean whack either. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm trying to just whack him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're just trying to hit each other. But
Yeah.
Lawler gets swept up because the crowd.
The
It
crowd
must have been
loved-
amazing to be here because the crowd just fucking. There's so much fucking wall and noise, and
Yeah.
Lawler
Yeah,
just goes,
that's-
"This is fucking Wrestle fucking Mania."
the crowd just like, we don't care. We love this.
Yeah, yeah.
It's what I think Cornette said. It's like an NWA match. It's like it's dirty.
Yeah,
It's a
bit
dirty match
match.
that you want.
That's true. It has. It is. It's got a little dirt.
It's dirty. It ain't clean like the WF usually do.
It just feels like they do hate each other,
Yeah.
which is what
Yes.
it should be.
It should be,
because
yeah.
that is the characters.
Austin hits Brett's. Austin hits Brett's elbow on Bret. As Brett's daughter hides her eyes at ringside.
Oh, and then Lawler said, I thought it was hiding the face because it's ugly. Something like that. I just thought it was just like showing a random kid because I thought, that's quite clever showing like, this is not for kids,
the
you know,
don't
because of
wanna
how
watch
much
it.
they. But then they said it's Bret's daughter. I thought,
Yeah.
you could have done without that person.
That's true, really. I hadn't even thought of
If
that.
you'd
but
have
yeah,
sort of said, they said, the kids, the parents and saying to the kids, don't watch, it's too violent.
yeah.
That would have worked, I think.
Austin locks in a modified sort of neck stretcher, and then we see Stu Hart. We're supposed to believe
He woke up.
he's looking
Showing.
confused. He's either looking confused or catching flies. I don't know.
I love Stu.
More so, though, when Bret is locked in the Boston Crab. Bret makes the ropes, and Ken Shamrock does make sure that Austin breaks the hold. Austin teases using the sharpshooter, but Bret pokes the eye to escape. Austin poses for the crowd after sending Bret to the outside. And even now, there's still some boos. There's just a bit,
There's
but you can
still-
still
there's
boo.
still
A bit, yeah.
Austin Bret whips Austin into the timekeeper's area, and this is where he gets colour. He sort of dives over everyone, which kind of
But I
creates
think people
chaos.
hadn't moved because I don't know if they knew that was going to
Yeah,
happen.
he literally
Oh, yeah.
creates chaos, but
Yeah.
he does sort of.
Fucking everyone's
And I think it's a clever way because I think they knew that they don't want any blood, which is why I'll get to Vince's commentary now.
Yeah,
But I think that it was clever the way that they showed it, so Vince thought it is hard way. That
It does look hard way.
It does look hard way,
yeah.
but I think Austin has said he got Bret to do it. So I think he cut the back of his head as well.
well, I know
And
the
one of them,
cut.
You could see.
You
It's
can
there,
see
it's
the
like
cut.
his
It's so
temple.
deep and big that it wouldn't naturally just be a nick. It would have to be. I suppose you can understand why it looks like it's the hard way because it
Yeah.
looks like a V cut just above his eye, and there is a cut on the back of his head.
yeah,
as well.
because he said that. I think Bret said we need blood. Obviously, he did this with Piper.
You
That's why
need
they got away with it, and this needed blood.
the finish especially.
Brilliant. Sneaking in blood.
Sneaking
He never
in
got
blood.
caught.
He is definitely the best superstar for sneaky blood.
It's sneaky, but Bret is
Sneaky
just brilliant
Bret.
in general. I love Bret. But I just loved it when Vince was going, maybe you should stop the match.
Yeah, yeah. And he goes-
You could tell if Vince was backstage, you would be going, stop it,
It's
stop
when,
it.
it's when he
No
keeps saying as well. It doesn't happen very often in the
In the
WWF.
WWF.
This is like,
You could tell Vince was like, oh, don't
Yeah,
We
he
usually got sultans.
Yeah, he goes, like, maybe Shamrock should shot
Yeah.
the match. And you can tell Jim Ross is going, he's not going to stop it. He's basically
get Dyke out here.
carry it
the
on.
clown.
Hang on.
So yes, Austin's head now starts covering very quickly in blood. Bret elbow, and Bret uses the chair to pound on the knee and the leg of Austin. Austin does has stopped the sharpshooter, but again, he's completely covered in blood. I do like that he just punt kicks Bret's dick. I mean, he literally just kicks him in the balls. Bret takes his chest bump, which we've always talked about. It's just unbelievable.
Brilliant. Why don't more people do that?
I don't know why someone hasn't taken that.
Yeah, like one of even FTR or Punk, because then Bret guys.
Just do it like that.
Just do it.
It's just so good. But there is someone who takes that bump better in our main event, and we know we'll get to that.
Yes.
Austin. Can't wait for that. Austin stomps a mud hole into Bret, and after a suplex, we get the full shot of Austin's face, which is red.
Yeah.
This is where Vince goes, "Don't worry, advertisers. This will not happen. Don't worry, advertisers. Coming next, a lynching."
Oh, does he just imagine street fight?
Bloody hell, what's happened to your company, Vince? Bret escapes being choked with a mic
You
cord.
had a gun up on show.
And as Sam proficiently sort of teased earlier, this is where he uses the ring bell very desperately, sort of hits him in the back of the head. The fact that he's sort of laid it there is brilliant. This leads to Bret locking in the sharpshooter. I'll tell you one thing. JR's outperforming the lot of them on commentary here when he's going on about how he's going to survive this and stuff. The iconic scene, I mean, fucking hell, everyone's talked about it, but Austin screaming with blood dripping into his teeth, and
you can see. I mean, even Lawless says he goes
when he's out,
just in a puddle.
Because you can see pumping out his temple. I think Lawless says that. He said you can see pissing out his temple. And I thought that.
I mean, and that's why Bret was right. It
Blood
wouldn't
works.
quite have
It
worked
wouldn't
as
have been
much.
as big a moment if you were.
Yeah.
If you were bleeding.
Yeah.
I mean, he got his shirt out of it. With
Yeah,
that
he did,
face on the back.
The crowd cheers as he somehow powers up, but the fact that Bret just
hold on,
I'm not losing it. And I like the fact that there's no attempt for the rope. It's like Bret Austin knows the only way I'm going to get out of this is powering out, and he can't, and so therefore he's fucked. Even Shamrock, the fact that you can hear him and he says, "Look, if you don't tell me, I'm going to call you."
I've got to call it if you don't answer me. And he just
really
went,
well,
that's
that's
it.
it.
He dialogued
He
to the
did.
arm.
He really did.
Really well.
I tell you who didn't. Roddy Piper. He was terrible when
He was terrible. But the fact that he then checked the arm, I think because he went back to his UFC as well. So I'm assuming that's what the UFC refs do. He's like, do you want to quit? Or I'm going to call it regardless.
He did really well.
The finish was just perfect. Bret's announced the winner. Bret then celebrates. And I tell you one thing, Kevin Dunn, he shows the crowd when Bret goes into the corner to cheer to get the cheers towards the crowd. And there's a smattering of people like flipping him off. And then he gets the chair. No, he just goes over and kicks his leg, and he starts kicking the leg. Now, it might have just been coincidence, but the fact that it's almost as if Bret's won, looked at his fans and saw him flipping him off,
so
and
he's
gone,
like, I'm going to
this bloke.
I'm
and then
going to
attacked him. I even you could argue it weakens Bret a little bit, but Shamrock doing the sort of stopping the drunken moms fighting at the wedding.
They'd be fuck off.
When he
And then he goes,
the proper fighting stuff. And Bret just goes,
there's the Mortal Armageddon fucking drunken samurai stance. Just fight. I love Shamrock. Then Bret goes,
he was mates with Bret.
Bret goes,
Did they do something with these? Did
No.
he fight Shamrock?
he might have had a raw match.
The next in your house, Bret fought Austin again. They had another match.
I think that was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, they should have in the end.
Mm.
Did they ever do anything?
No, I don't think they ever had a match.
It's a shame, really.
That's what
because
Bret was saying.
He would have.
I think even hang on, it'd be correct. Well, I don't know if even Bret was thinking, "I'll drop the belt to Shamrock."
He has said that and stuff. I mean, I don't know whether Shamrock was ever ready.
If not, that's
Not.
If not, Mosh.
Well, he wanted to lose it to Brawler, I think. On one show, Brawler would have battled over the 110, and he was going to say, "I'm just going to let you."
Have you chuck his sidewalk slam? Fucking painful. And Austin gets up after, refuses the ref.
Stuns the
ref.
That stunner was a bit shit.
Yeah, it was nearly as bad as fucking Vince's this year. But he gets Austin chant as he hobbles his way out. And I thought, historically, it was more vicious, the attack afterwards. I thought he got the chair and all that sort of stuff. It just goes to show the story that they told in the match meant that all Bret needed to do was just attack him once after the match.
Yeah, and that
was enough.
Because you got the UFC ref, and he kind of made himself a bit more heelish by going, I ain't going to fight you forever.
Yeah, exactly. Even
because I know it's
cowardly,
UFC, so
I can take him.
Yeah.
The core fight with that fucking stat.
I mean, it is perfect.
Yeah.
It's the perfect street fight.
I honestly can't think of a better match.
It's dirty, it's gritty, it's the perfect street fight. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You don't want all these weapons, all these tables, thumbtacks, nonsense. This couple of weapon things that are around.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
They both knew the characters. They both knew the story. They played the story well. You know, they brawled everywhere. The submissions. Shamrock played his role perfectly.
Yeah.
The blood. It is just a piece of artwork. It's gone down in wrestling folklore, and it should have, because some matches get built up bigger than they actually are. But this is worthy of what it is.
Yeah, this is what you should try. This is what
it's
you
the
need
double
to
turn. You know, it's the perfect
I can't.
double turn.
I mean, I don't. Have they ever done it? They did it with Dolph and Alberto, didn't they? I think, but there's no better.
Never went down in folklore. We done that.
They certainly didn't get this, but I mean,
Austin war taking fucking Hurricane Riders from Bulgaria.
I think the one thing that again,
and a lot of this you can tell he's Bret.
Well, not only that, don't you think a lot of the reason the characters are so believable is that everyone knows that Austin has been a brilliant wrestler for all his career and never had that opportunity.
Yeah.
So he's quite rightly pissed off at the world, and that's his character. And everyone knows that Bret Hart has never been given the chance to be the top man.
Yeah,
he's naturally pissed off and moaning and
because
whinging.
You only want me when the ones you want either don't work out or everyone else is left. You only want me.
So what you now need to do is give the fans the chance to identify with one or the other, and the crowd are obviously choosing Austin, which naturally adds to the frustration of Bret. But it's all fucking believable.
Yeah. And it's right. That's why. And that's what they say with heels. Some of the best heels you can see a lot of the times. I'm right.
Yeah.
But I need people sleeping with dead bodies.
Exactly. But I think Bret said in the Wrestling with Shadows, and I don't think he was doing it as a work. When he said, like, you know, nowadays the fans seemingly are sort of chanting for the heels and stuff, and you get the impression, and you still get it from Bret, that he's got that old Stu Hart. Territorial. The way I see baby faces is the white meat, the kissing the babies.
You know,
I
think that worked with Bret as well, because I think he knew he was starting to get out of touch with the 90s crowd, but I think he knew it and thought, I can use this to turn.
Yeah, I'll just be me.
I'll just be me, and it'll work.
and I'll be a heel.
And
4 out of 10.
But obviously, with the Canada thing, it worked.
That run is one of the best heel runs
in history. I think you could argue as much, and he was a really good babyface at a period where
they
needed a little babyface. But I think Bret's run from here to when he leaves in Survivor Series is his best run by a long way.
With the Hart Foundation, with faces in Canada whenever they went to Raw, and someone was booing Austin, but I think Austin, they just loved him everywhere. And for everybody else, they booed him.
It's really ironic to think that the perennial babyface Bret Hart had his best work as a heel. It's weird.
Character work anyway.
He's better than Shawn in my opinion. I think I'll prefer Bret over Shawn.
In ring,
come an FTR man.
No, I do. I've always loved Bret. I can watch Bret's match, and I just love the psychology, like the Piper match. That's one thing I think I wish he would have done. Is wore his old pink, because when he had the Piper match and he had his blood on him. I think if he had Austin's blood on the old pink, you could see it.
Maybe,
I think that would have added a little bit to it.
Yeah, 4.95 stars.
No, this is 8.9 stars. This is.
Well, we're going to Japan now to see where Meltzer will love this. It's in the Tokyo Dome. No, it's not in the Tokyo Dome, but it is. New Japan.
Second Liger match on the birthday.
Yeah. Just goes to show everyone's.
Fuck.
You would have had that match with what's it called? Oz.
Oh yeah.
Cradling
in his arms.
When
That
Liger
was
turned into a
brilliant.
baby.
That's my favourite Liger moment.
That should have been the end of his career. Really.
His
That
retirement
yeah.
package. It should have ended with.
Yeah.
Kevin
And they
Nash
should have
cradling.
recreated that.
Kevin Nash should have come out and carried him
Carried
out
him.
of the arena like that fucking.
I've had the time
Don't
of
they
my life.
get inducted on the same year? Don't the NWO and Liger get inducted the same year?
Yes,
Like-
they did.
So shouldn't they have done that when he
That's
come
what
out
I mean,
with
that
that?
should have been the end.
Cradling him out. Oh, on.
One of my
missed-
favourite things I've ever
Oh,
Missed the point.
through the podcast.
I know one thing, Vince ain't booking this because no chance of both men wearing red and
Red, I
white.
thought there.
Oh, I thought when I saw Owen, look,
Yeah.
Del Sugar, mate.
He doesn't, does it? Red
No,
and white.
Del Sugar.
He's from Canada. Would have been red. and
Well,
white.
he did have a maple leaf, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So yes, this is from New Japan Explosion in 1992. So he's still sort of doing WWE and Fed.
Because then we watched his match with Ultimo when we did Ultimo's thing, but he was in his high energy gear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
think this is a bit better than that.
in his fucking purple pajamas.
Yeah.
They hook up anyway. There's plenty of wrist lock reversals, but Liger hits a gut wrench to win the early duels. There's a peanut show off as Owen shows his,
Call it.
as his back strength, and then he hits a hip toss and a head scissors, finishing with a slingshot dive onto Jushin Liger on the outside. The vicious drop kick as well into the steel railings. I mean, fucking really nice.
Japan, eh?
Yeah,
It's
you
like
have
Walter.
to make 'em-
You have to make
If you want to earn my mild applause, you will kill each other.
That's what, can you imagine Walter in Japan?
Oh, he'd be brilliant though, wouldn't he?
He'd be like
Fucking-
Hanson, wouldn't he?
Can you imagine Walter versus fucking Brody or
Ishii
fucking... Oh.
or even the now, what's his name? The murder grandpa, the him with the weird hair. I think that's, I think that's what I'm calling. Murder grandpa.
Murder grandpa. I'll get that on a shirt. Sick. We get our first near fall as Owen grounds Liger. Liger then lifts a knee into the belly welly and suplexes Owen to the outside. Gives Owen a taste of his own medicine as well as he drop kicks him full in the face. There's a modified figure 4, which Owen does sell really, really well. I'll tell you one thing, Owen's selling in this match is pretty good. Owen escapes and works the arm of Jushin Liger. Nice selling now as Liger is slammed onto his own arm, and then Owen locks in a chicken wing, obviously.
Shades of Bob.
Yeah, shades of Bob. Butterfly suplex as Owen keeps up the arm work. Owen's mannerisms again so on point. He looks literally to be tearing off the arm of Liger. Liger gets his hope back with a back roll, but solidly Owen continues to stay on top in this match. Liger survives a suplex to lock in his own armbar, but Owen makes the rope break. There's a surfboard style hold. The press as well. I mean, that's really impressive that he does, like, he's sort of pressing him up and down.
Yeah.
It is amazing. There's more nice submissions, a sort of reverse Boston Crab. What is that called? Do you know that?
I don't
I
know what
tried
it's
to
called.
find. It looks like
The reverse boss.
the reverse Boss turns him and then he
yeah.
grabs the arms as well. He sort of.
He does like
The
pendulum
like
thing,
on the
yeah.
swing.
It's
I
like a
think it's called a
pendulum.
pendulum, eh?
Yeah.
It's a really good finish.
Mm.
Well, it's not a finish. It's a really good submission anyway.
Japan, it's not a finish.
No finish. Liger hits a huge dive off the top onto Owen on the outside. I'm not sure about this moonsault thing that Owen now does inside to sort of escape the
the thingy.
yeah, when they start running into each other and Owen does a moonsault for some reason. But it's back and forth. Liger drop kicks a moonsault. Owen ducks a spinning heel kick. Owen hits a moonsault of his own now, but he's rolled through for a 2. There's a slightly botchy tombstone reversal, but Owen hits his tombstone. That isn't going to finish him, obviously. He's got to go up for the Stampede headbutt, which he hits for a 2. There's a
Is that
moonsault.
what that's called?
I think it was called the Stampede headbutt, because I think a lot of people in Stampede Wrestling did the fucking headbutt.
Yeah.
Like that's where Dynamite Kid did it, and Benoit did it, and all
Bad News
sorts.
Brown did it.
No, he never done a rugging head.
Stuart used to do
He met, they had the ladder matches though. That was the first one to do the ladder matches.
No, Sean invented. He
No,
told
Bret invented it. Sean stole it.
us. Right.
I heard Luther invented.
There's been something.
I heard Greg Gagne invented it.
Yes, he walked past Brett. Ladder match, bro.
Why don't you lose a ladder, brother? Thanks, Nick.
We've got to do something on him.
Oh, the Greg Gagne podcast.
Yeah.
That's niche.
We'd all fucking jump out and still do that.
There's a chair drop by Liger, and he stops another moonsault for a 2. Owen headbutts and Liger drop kicks. This finish, though.
That's brilliant, eh? I love
Oh,
the finish.
what a finish.
Yeah.
Goes up top, sort of teases a superplex, thinks, fuck it, I'm DDTing the bastard. On his head.
I don't know how the fuck you know Spike like.
He literally lands
Stop
on
that.
his head.
And them old rings, the Japanese, when you wear the rings, it's like there's no real gift.
I mean, there is no doubt in my... If he'd have kicked out of that, I would have messaged you and said, take this match out of your fucking... I'm not having anyone kick out of that fucking DDT.
2022, they would have kicked out.
But that...
At one, if it won, that's it. Fuck off.
That is a finish and a
Super
half.
kicks and all this.
Don't need a finisher. Just hit him with a move that looks impactful and we'll finish.
Yeah, well, believable that he would never get up ever again.
Yeah,
So Liger gets the win over Owen.
Did Liger ever lose in Japan?
I don't think we've ever seen him lose on the podcast yet.
There was two Ultimo. No, Ultimo was the outsider, or he was the Japan.
Yeah. Oh, and Liger won his belt back.
Belt
there, if
back,
you remember.
yeah.
He won with Oz.
Yeah.
That's because of Oz.
Liger's he's got a streak on the podcast.
Hang on a minute, there's the Hogan thing here. Why ain't nobody pissed off at Liger? Because he looks cool.
Yeah. He's just
And he has his own seat, though.
He looks like a
His sleeve's brilliant.
Jushin Liger.
I think he had an anime day.
Yeah, he was a villain as
Everyone-
well. He was a villain in some of the fucking Japanese
he was,
movies,
yeah.
like as a monster. That's the look. Like he's supposed to be like some sort of giant squid monster, and stuff.
One day he appear in Power Rangers, goddammit. That's in Japan.
If he watched enough, he probably did.
He probably did. He was the other Ranger.
He was the red and white ranger.
Yeah.
So, Jack.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. And I think, Japan with the juniors, they always know how to do it because it starts slow and it holds and it builds it.
He
So,
takes
and I think
flippy,
the problem
he
is,
don't get it.
I think the problem is a lot of people who watched it and then become wrestlers love the flippy things, but don't take into consideration that to get there you have to build the cycle.
Yeah,
Totally
it's a
right,
slow
that is.
And
thing.
so they just start with the flippy stuff. I like, you watch AEW and you got people like Dante Martin and people like these, and they just start and then them flipping everywhere instead of
that's it.
we're going to build to this, to the holds, to the locks,
That's right.
get out, and then we
Yes.
start to build to it. And then it just builds and builds and builds, and then it's a big move. It's ain't got to be a finisher. It's just a big move that looks impactful. That looks like he's dead, and he wins.
I just like the fact that
It's a story, and then
Yeah, it's a
that
story
a
of
lot
the
of time you got to tell the story. You don't just go flip done ending.
there's
This is
some
it's
cool
the ending.
spots.
Yeah,
The whole thing you got to tell the beginning to end. So
They-
if
they
you
make
get
cool
if you get
spots.
to
right.
it's like if the Marvel film, obviously for the nerds, the Marvel
For the
films
nerds.
for the nerds.
Do that.
But the Marvel films, if you went to the what was the one where Thanos did the click?
Okay.
No, War Endgame. It was,
Was it Endgame?
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
When he did
Infinity
it.
War. Okay, you go to that film, and however long it was.
Yeah.
Was it hour and a half?
3 hours.
3 hours? Okay, in the first 10 minutes he clicks. That's it.
Done, yeah.
That's basically what a lot of wrestling
And
is
I
nowadays.
think that's the problem, isn't it? Is that I think Jack's hit the nail completely on the end in terms of a lot of fans, really hardcore fans, will have a respect to certainly the junior division in Japan in the sort of early 90s. But if you watch that these matches, you have to sit through 10 or 15 minutes of build where it's slow and it's methodical and it's all about body part, but it all makes sense in the last 10 minutes.
It does.
But if you take the first 15 minutes out, which might not be as flashy, the last 10 minutes don't make as much sense. And the fact is, the one thing I like about Japanese
You don't
things
take it in.
is you you don't always feel like they're having to build towards their finisher. These two were just desperate to beat each other.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'll do whatever I need to do to win. And I think that's what I liked about Walter as well, is that it's like, I'll do what I need to fucking win.
Yeah.
Whereas
And in the
a
last
lot
match,
of American
Austin and Bret-
wrestling has always been, I've got to build to Hogan's leg drop, or I've got to build to this. And that's okay, but the nice thing about this is it's not formulaic, and I think that's why I enjoyed this match.
Makes you go, the finish can come from anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So you appreciate the tombstone more.
And that's the
all
thing
that
with
sort of
Liger as
stuff.
well. And if you look at a lot of Japanese juniors as well, you'd probably be able to say a lot of them had 4 or 5 finishes.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't always... Because Liger did the tombstone, which we'd win sometimes with, and then he got the Liger bomb, and then he's got, obviously, this DDT, or he'll do a dive off the top. Or you know, that's believable as well.
It's just anything can finish a match.
Yeah,
That's what you need.
But nowadays, nothing can.
No.
Except for
a roll up. A roll up's the only thing.
A roll up or anyway.
Devastating.
Or a Meltzer.
That's what else though. He used to say.
Or that one.
To his students, I remember him saying it. He used to say, "What was bar finisher?" And people say snowflake. Good now. I'd never be anyone with snowflake. The finish was the plastic head.
Yeah.
That was the only thing they ever won.
Yeah. It's like Flair, though, isn't it? Flair's exactly the same. Flair never won with the...
I think that's why when he fought Jericho at SummerSlam 02, Jericho insisted, "You're beating me with the figure four."
Yeah.
Because I don't think he wanted to. He goes, "No, because you never win with it. You're beating me with that."
It's probably more impactful than he did beat him with it. He never did.
There was a match that I watched the other day where it was when they beat the Spirit Squad when he was him and Piper. And,
Fat Piper in his pants.
Well, speaking of, we go to my main event now, and we've teased it. We've teased it, but it is, in my opinion, one of the greatest pieces of art you will watch. That's not Bret and Austin. It is the Royal Rumble match from 1992. We get a short promo from some of the men. Again, it's done to the sort of...
I did watch the very beginning of the pay-per-view just so I could hear Vince.
You do the shout.
do the shout.
They've got to bring that, even though he's retired. Just bring him back to that.
Vince Corbin could become like back...
Just backstage Vince. Backstage Vince.
No, not backstage.
He should be Dan. That's what he can be Dan
Or
Vince.
have Vince as this character who appears backstage.
Toasty Vince.
What am I know?
And I really hope, I'm going to start lobbying it now, I hope that they do another 92 Royal Rumble poster, because they did it in 2001.
Oh, yeah.
And they did it 91.
MLW always do it for the battle.
Yeah,
Royale.
they did 91 first, and then 92 with
And
the
then they did it
cartoon.
again in
It's
2000.
2001
That
It's
poster.
just so fucking great.
with them all just
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
a cartoon. And
Well,
it's the main ones, and then like figures in the background.
Well, that's the point that I was going to make. I mean, this is the first Rumble. Okay, you know, when you watch it back, it kind of is obvious who is going to win. But this is the first Rumble where you've got legitimately Piper, Jake, Sid, Macho, Hogan, Flair, Taker, and okay, I know it's a bit laughable, but Slaughter is sort of put over as a former champion as well.
Yeah.
And did I not say Sid as well?
Iron Sheik. Even though his curler was that, he's a former champ.
I suppose, and he was in the main event too, pay-per-view.
You got Snooker. I know. Obviously, when you look at the wrestlers, even though some of the gimmicks, like to be honest, Barry Darso, he's smash. To be honest, Nikolai Volkov, as much as I love him, he was what he was back in the 80s.
Well,
you got to look at
honestly, if you
Terry Von Erich,
there's very
Tito
few,
Santana,
there's very
you know,
few people in this match that you would look, and this is part of the reason why
Shags, maybe.
there's very few people in this match that you would look at that are either in the Hall of Fame or could be in the Hall of Fame, and the ones that could be, you wouldn't. There ain't many where you'd look and think, well, you wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame, would you? You know what I mean? So maybe that's because of
This
the.
is probably the
era.
first year where they properly realised, okay, the Rumble, we can do something with it.
It was just. I mean, it's just.
That
the
was getting
star
the match
power in this
together
match.
before. Like 90, that first was getting the booking of the actual match. But I think now they started incorporating it into the stories, and then 93 was the first time the winner got the shot at Mania. That
Yeah, I
was
mean,
first
the
time
problem
they did it,
was,
so
I
they
think that
started to-
because of how good this is, the Rumble gets over. And
Yes.
then you don't need to put as much emphasis on who's in the Rumble because it's the Rumble.
I think
And
there's
I
some
suppose
years where it's like,
and that,
you can tell
you
that.
get that, don't you? You get to
Yeah.
the point, certainly in the mid-90s, where it's just, it's the Rumble.
It's
isn't
the
it?
Rumble,
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did try and change it.
The
a little
match
bit.
is over.
Yeah.
95.
Who's
Have we
it?
done the 95 Rumble?
Not yet.
No.
We will be, though.
No.
Fink runs down the rules. Bobby already starts to get nervous. I love that Jack Tunney, even in 92, gets booed.
It's weird.
No, you know what? I heard this story. I think I listened to.
It's like the Sky Sports darts.
I listened to something, and
Representative.
apparently what happened is in the dark match. I think it was Brawler
Did
v
he run out?
Powers. They did
Yeah,
a match where
cash in his
Brawler won,
24/7
but he
chart.
cheated. Jack Tunney come out and reversed the decision. It was a way of trying to get the fans to cheer him, but when he come out, they still booed him. They
We
tried
don't like
to get him to
Jim
cheer. No, they tried to get Jack Tunney cheered because they knew, obviously, with the holding the belts on the line, the
They have to have
presentation.
him say it, though. I understand it.
But they tried to do that, obviously, in the dark match, so the fans wouldn't
That's
boo the
brilliant.
shit out of him.
I love
Funny
that.
Jack Tunney. I love Jack Tunney every time.
But I'll tell you one thing. He's so terrible at promos that his stuffiness actually suits what he is. He's unbelievable.
Thank you, Howard. I love that bit.
I love when he
He's
just.
so stuffy.
I love at the end when he just sort of. Can I go? Or what? Howard's like, fuck off there.
Our number one entrant, anyway, is Davey Boy Smith, first Hall of Famer in this match, I should say, who gets a really nice pop.
He was.
Did he come back sort of SummerSlam time, 91?
No, he was at Mania. He fought Warlord.
No,
at
so he's
Mania.
been back
He
about a
came
year then.
over a year because he was in the Rumble 90. He was in the Final Four of Rumble 91.
Not the final three, though. I know who
No.
was. No.
Yeah.
Our second entrant is
This is brilliant with Bobby. This.
our second entrant is our second Hall of Famer. Who pulled
Both
off
of
number two. Yeah, three. So three people who've entered so far are in the Hall of Fame,
All the
Paul's
commentary.
and all the commentary as well.
Yeah.
Exactly like
Yeah.
so.
Not Jack Tunney. He's the only one so far.
They ain't ever put
Jack
Jack
Tunney,
Tunney
no.
in there. I mean, has he got the worst luck in pulling numbers, Ted? Because didn't he pull number one in 89 and sell it?
At 89, he bought 30. 90,
Yeah, but
he
he
bought
bought-
number one, but he did the run. 91, which again I had to correct. Even watching it, I corrected Monsoon when he goes, "Oh, it was last year." I go, "No, he had the tag match with Virgil when Virgil turned on
of
him
course he went
in
in the
91."
Rumble.
And then 92, he pulled number 2. And I think
that's
in
it, so-
93,
but he sold-
pulls like number 4.
Well, that's it. He sold his number one to get the number 30, so he pulled number one.
No, he did pull number 1 to buy number 30. He
pulled
pulled,
off
and he sold, he sold.
Oh,
his
that
was
was
to
right.
Akeem,
Oh,
but
yeah,
no,
that was
Akeem and Bossman's.
We
for some
watched
reason,
it there, and we was
Yeah.
thinking, well, what the fuck's he bought that for?
Yeah, I think it was sort of like number. It was after
Waste
number
of
18.
money.
No, I think
It
it was
was
like
late
19
on,
or
yeah.
20. It was
He
quite
always
late.
wasted his money, though, Ted.
Yeah, he did.
always
Yeah.
wasted
Such a
money.
heel.
I mean, why do you want to see a kid
He
bounce
did-
a ball anyway? Ted? What's the matter?
They give jobbers like
Just
5,
keep
10
him up.
quid every night.
Oh, good old stuffy Ted. Yes, Ted is out number 2
With Sherry.
with Sherry.
And
Which,
look
already.
at them.
Tits on that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It just went quiet, and I
Oh.
loved that. And
The
they
gorilla
go,
don't know how
"Hey,
to react.
No,
Yeah.
I thought you
Even
could
the
probably
gorilla
tell
was like,
them
I don't know
both
how to
laughed.
react.
Yeah, this is literally get on the. You hang on to Bobby Heenan here because he's
Yeah,
doing.
oh.
He's fucking brilliant.
Oh,
Sold it.
Ted corners Bulldog with chops and hits a clothesline and suplex. Gets his fist drop in as Gorilla tells us that Martel has the record for the Rumble. Again, sort of teasing where we're going with this Rumble.
Yeah.
And Luke got whacked out, and I thought,
Yeah.
choose your words
Been
there, and
whacked
it's not,
out.
it's Warlord.
Been whacked up for a while.
Yeah, it is Warlord.
It's
that's
Warlord
true,
who
yeah.
had 2 seconds, but for some reason they kept forgetting
Forget
it
that,
until like 2007.
Bulldog hangs on and then clotheslines Ted to the outside. Bobby is absolutely gutted as the number 3 is Ric Flair, who did tell us Or
He
certainly
did it. I'm
home
the Coliseum
video.
video.
I'm number 3.
Well, I do number 3.
Cheers.
That's what I thought. I thought, did you not watch this, Bobby?
Never before in the history of the Royal Rumble has a man who drew
1 through 5 been there at the end.
So that ironically though is very iconic as a statement by Gorilla in it. It's
And
sort
I
of,
think it was actually right at the time.
yeah, I
Well,
don't think
don't
anything
think-
in it.
I think with this as well, Bobby Lobby.
Well, I lied about Warlord.
But I think at this point, Bobby actually wanted Flair to be number 1 and go through and win it. And Vince changed it. Why 3? I don't know.
Maybe he was just keeping that in his back pocket because
Yeah, I know he's a, I know he can go long, but he can't do the extra 2 minutes.
fucked.
Yeah.
Gotta get 10 out.
Yeah, so that's a really good call, and fucking Heenan initially starts crying as Flair is being press slammed by Davey and clothesline. Flair is hanging on as our number 4 entrant is Jerry Sags from the Nasty Boys, and last year his partner Brian Knobbs finished 3rd. I just remind you, he finished 3rd. Brian Knobbs, by the way.
But he
Nasty
was
Boys.
quite late on. Though,
He's a
Brian
friend,
Knobbs.
though.
He's a Hogan friend. Gorilla tells Heenan off for not being objective as he breathlessly tells Flair to take a rest.
Yeah, because you don't have to go over the top. Go through the ropes. Take a walk.
Bulldog clotheslines down both men and then tosses out Sags, but he holds on. Sags stupidly jaws at the crowd though, so Bulldog just drop kicks him.
Yeah.
It's not fair to Flair, Heenan tells us as Bulldog looks back up with Flair. Number 5 is Haku.
This should have been Knobbs.
Oh, she did. Of course,
This
he
should have been
replaced
Knobbs. I don't know if this was when he got stabbed or something, or he'd had an injury.
him. He's on
That's
hard
why
life,
when
isn't
I
he,
think of
old,
this
Knobbs?
with the numbers,
He's awesome.
whether the Nasties would have been in together and Bulldog had knocked them both out together.
Okay.
So I think
that
maybe
would-
that's
I
what they
think they
did
really
change it.
do a good job of making Bulldog in this Rumble.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
he looks
he's-
really, really
he
good.
does.
Like,
I really
Oh,
agree.
but he
Yeah,
won the
but-
coveted Saban
Well,
trophy.
you could say, I mean, he had a main event this year, didn't he? A big
well,
old
yeah,
man.
but I mean, certainly because where
He's already won the teapot.
Who did he fight at Mania?
I don't know.
Mania
I
8.
can tell you.
I don't think he was on the show.
Was he must have done drugs.
No, he was on the
He's
show.
fucking off his face.
We've
again.
done Mania 8. I don't
Yeah,
think he
I
was
think
on
he
it.
was.
I mean, look at him here. He looks fucking like a boss.
Yeah.
He really does.
With his poodle head.
Well, isn't he?
And, by the end of the year, he's in WCW, isn't he?
No,
Yeah,
God.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, he is on it.
That's a podcast.
Yeah, it will be a podcast. So Haku is number 5. He teams up with Flair for a short while before turning on Flair. Heenan can't believe this. He hits a really nice pole driver to Bulldog as well. Bulldog then dumps out Haku as the buzzer hits, and number 6 is Shawn Michaels.
Newly healed.
Yeah, recently turned heel. He jabs it up with Flair, which I suppose is quite prophetic with where
Yeah.
both of them are going to end up. It's a back body drop.
Leave the memories alone. I'm sorry, I love you.
This is, I mean, I've agreed with you exactly. Davey boy looks so good, but then Shawn, them two have got really good chemistry.
Yeah.
Bulldog and
Sean and Bulldog, they've always done well.
But Sean's a fucking, he's like a fucking jellyfish. Eh? He just bums fucking in.
He's
Just
just
ask Hogan.
to watch it.
Yeah, I hate the way that Sean goes out because there was so much you could have done.
I think the only way they did that is because they had Marty, so it was a way of saying, okay, this is your backup mania
Yeah.
match.
This is the disappointment you're going to have.
Unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yeah, so Sean is punted and then he's crotched on the top rope as number 7 is El Matador, Tito Santana. He hooks up with Flair straight away, teases an elimination on Flair. So our Mania 8 opener is built as Sean tries to eliminate Tito. Flair hits a low blow on Bulldog and gets booed. And the flying jalapeno, Bobby Heenan calls Tito's
Yeah.
corner.
Bob
Bob
get away with that, dude.
Bob is out next.
They don't get smaller, they just get
He
bigger.
gets hit with a ball of paper. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Someone really hates Bob.
I did like Bobby.
What a bastard.
I like Bobby in his commentary when he goes, he don't like anybody. He goes, well, I used to manage him, and I don't think he liked me.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Bob tries to eliminate Bulldog. I was thinking that I know Bob ain't long for the WWE at this point, but that was a good feud. Bob and
Two big people who would work.
Yeah,
He's had his run with Warlord.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Somebody who can work.
Sean hangs on and crawls away as Texas Tornado is out. We've seen this before, I'm sure. As,
He does get a decent pop as well. Well, a squeal.
yeah, and I think the fact that I know WWE will never acknowledge it, but the fact that he hooks up immediately with Flair.
Yeah, because it
built
goes
to
right
Flair,
onto
yeah,
Flair, though.
Yeah, definitely.
That when you just see Flair right on the camera and he's...
Yeah, but I like the fact that it's obvious they've got an history,
Yeah.
even though they don't really play up on the fact that they do have an
As long as
history.
you don't do a backslide, I think Flair's alright.
He decks Flair, and then Sean again bumps so brilliantly for the tornado punch.
12 speed.
It's unbelievable, isn't he? Flair does his flop for the first time in the match, and then he's stomped by El Matador. Sneaky Repo is out next.
Oh,
Gorilla tells him off for not knowing which direction the ring is. Fucking hell.
I'm having a go Repo, goddammit.
El Matador hits a crossbody and Barber's on Barber's, the ring is filling up. Bob Avery's not in the Hall of Fame, is he?
No.
I'm quite surprised, really, even though I know he never really did a lot. He did have a WCW main event together on too.
I think that he's quite widely regarded, but even the Powers of Pain.
But
for
I
what
heard
it
him
was,
cut a
I think
promo
that
and he was fucking awful.
Oh, he could.
No, and they get him Fuji, yeah.
He won't. I think he might have got involved in that lawsuit as well, so he might be on the fucking red list.
How can you fucking... Where are you from? You're slow, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
You've got on
Tom
it.
you don't have concussion.
Very true. Yes, El Matador hits crossbody on Barb as the ring is starting to fill up.
And
Yeah.
where you can
My favourite.
actually hear Flair shout, Tino!
Yeah,
while he's trying to eliminate him, and they go, Tino, come
He
here!
needs to stop
He
it.
needs to shout L, because that's his name. Not
Yeah,
T.
that's true. That's why he was confused.
Matador! Come here!
Oh, it's me.
Bobby is so confused that he forgets that Haku has been eliminated.
Yeah.
And Flair's former tag partner is out next, and Tia to say to Jack's side.
Oh, he's such a boy.
I quite like Greg.
I
really
think
do.
I always didn't mind him, but the podcast has made me love him.
I think that Battle Royal for the Tornado
That Battle Royal
podcast
just-
really...
I just fell in love
just
with him.
because of how shocked he was that it was Greg.
He does go on and on and on and on.
I love him now.
Gas tank Greg, he comes out, chops Flair.
That's the thing, Monsoon always took the piss. That's why he said,
He took-
how long did he last? 45 minutes. He goes, takes him that long to get
To
warm.
warm up. Yeah.
What have you got against Greg?
Fucking brilliant.
After Flair and Repo. the two main threats.
Oh dear. Gorilla repeats his line from earlier about the one and between 1 and 5 not being there, and Bobby screams, "Hi, shut up!
Shut up!
Anyone could win this," Gorilla says, and then out comes Nikolai.
It should have been Marty, which
No.
you've got to think
You know what I
there's
love?
going to be some big spots that one in here.
You know what I love the most about this though is he gets booed. He gets
I love-
booed, and he's. I think the
Bobby
fans,
calls him a Lithuanian.
honest to God, I think the fans forgot he's a
He's got the
babyface.
American flag. on his
Yeah.
chest, but I love that he gets in, and then he doesn't really have a
Really
moment.
funny.
It's just sort
So
of
what
standing
do I
around.
really-
Standing around and Repo eliminates.
Well, yeah, so he gets booed. There's 9 men in the ring. Greg finds some space to put on that figure 4. And then out the
That got
corner,
a pop.
the
That's it.
second man to eliminate anyone in this match is
Oh, yeah.
Repo Man. He eliminates
You
Nikolai.
can tell it's basically you're a filler. You fucking
Yeah, get
Repo,
rid of it.
knock him out.
It's a little weird.
But
It is
don't
weird.
forget he's back in a couple of years. Bossman, who looks in very good shape, comes out to probably the biggest pop so far. He jabs everyone.
You can tell this is the end of part 1 of the Rumble 8. You can tell this is booked.
Yeah,
into
definitely.
parts.
Well, this is the strange quirk at this point is that the 5 men have been eliminated by 2 because Greg gets dumped out by Repo Man. It's just
Don't you disparage
Another
the goddamn
guy.
Repo Man.
It's just strange. He's next to go though as he's thrown out by the boss man.
But he does his little sneaky thing.
Yeah.
Though, he goes, what happened?
I'm off.
Oh, what's
Get a
happened?
car. Flair, I'm a bit. I don't know. What are you? Why you can't? Are you a thief or are you a repo man? Flair gets his first elimination as he powers out Bulldog, which
That
is a
gets
shame.
rude. That gets
Yeah, because
rude.
I think Bulldog could have been the last one. I know Bossman, and there's
It's
a lovely
Bossman.
spot with Bossman.
Oh,
but
oh God!
but I wish he was.
Could have done longer.
I wish it was
Could
him
have.
down to him and Bulldog again, and then somehow Flair got the advantage on him. That's the
Or,
only
or
thing
he
I
went
would
to
say.
close on him and he dropped the rope and he fell over.
Just because I think
Something like-
Davey Boy
I think
deserved
that
it
would
for
have
his
been-
performance.
It's got to go out before 15. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
person,
yeah,
but
yeah.
obviously 15 is the moment. But he could have been the last one.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that
it just
works, yeah.
it just calls back to the fact that they've been in the ring together.
Those two.
Yeah, and then the
Puts
two.
over Bulldog saying, look how long he's lasted. He won the Battle
I
Royal.
think
that
they did a
that
good
was the
job
whole
with
point
Vivian.
of his promo before and what they said when he
He was.
Come in.
He was more of a battle royal specialist than our number 23, who we're told, or number 22 or something, is our battle royal specialist. We'll get to him later. He comes out with Fuji, by the way, if that helps you.
He's got furry boots.
He's got furry boots and a brown singlet. And he's called the Berserker.
Okay, yeah. All right, I've just remembered him. Yeah, it's just got to
Yes.
Oh, God.
He's a specialist. He's shit at him. Bulldog is dumped out, and then quickly Texas Tornado is dumped out as well. So we start freshening up the ring as in the corner. Yeah, I'll say this. We start freshening up the ring as in the corner as the buzzer is going off. Sean and El Matador eliminate each other. So what you now need
That's the bill for your mate.
Yeah. What you now need to keep it fresh is our big old Hercules looking like he's had better days.
He's my boy, but you don't look
it's fed up. Are you wearing his Power and Glory attire?
Yeah,
looks awful.
Is he a heel? Is he face?
I don't think people know what he is at this point.
His last match in the Fed was against Sid.
Yeah, on the battle. I think they did a battle royal that
He fought
show.
Sid 1-on-1.
Yeah, he fought Sid
Oh,
1-on-1,
God.
but all he did, he took the power bomb and then just got up and walked.
And then he burst.
He hardly sold it. Yeah, that was
Hardly
an
sold it.
No, he
Then
just
did a
got up and
battle
walked
royal.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't lay down. If he lay down any longer, he wouldn't be able to get up.
And then the WCW went, well, we sign everyone, but not you.
Well, do you remember when we watched Turk versus...
Oh, no, he became an assassin.
Yeah, with two really weird masks. Do you remember when we watched Turk versus Hogan?
that was easy.
And he was in such good shape.
Yeah, he was.
That was my...
This is,
When
I
he
think
was
because
my
this
boy
is when
at
they
that
got
point.
rid of the roids. So he is roid belly.
Once he had a
God.
tash, it just went wrong for
He
him.
looks like Jack, worse Jake.
He does.
Yeah.
He looks like
He
even
looks like Jake now. That's what I could describe Hercules.
Good old
It's
big
such a
Herc.
good old Herc.
God,
He
he's
is a boy, but my God, jeez.
Flair suck his barb with
Quite
fucking
sad,
Bobby Eaton tells Flair off.
Bakugan didn't get it over Herc.
Dunno, they weren't even scheduled.
Herc was always
Always
planned. Look at him.
Well, what's the name? OSW. They always mock the fact that when they did their run, he got pay-per-view payday all the fucking time. It's
What is it,
unbelievable.
like 40 in a row?
Oh,
Something
amazing.
crazy.
I love Herc.
Bob press slams Flair, but Herc is behind Bob to throw him out.
He had an elimination. But I like how Herc was
Yeah,
he
but-
had to sell it.
Yeah.
That they give Barb a
And then
like a
Boss Man.
face spot
yes.
of Flair.
Yeah, and then he gets eliminated. It almost feels like it turns him face. But Bossman eliminates Herc, but nearly eliminates
Nearly stops himself. Whoa, Boss Man, can't stop.
He gets up and shakes his finger at Flair. He hits his clothesline, does his weird roundhouse kick.
I think he did that. The roundhouse kick and then poof!
It always
His
looks
face
cheap,
bomb.
He always looks shit, but you just thought, you gotta do it.
I love
Yeah,
I love Boss Man.
But the
Boss Man, brilliant. When he just did the kick, Flair don't sell it. Boom!
I never think Bossman is that comfortable with being a face, but he is just so fun to
He's
watch.
just
when he's
brilliant.
a
I love
just
Big
like
Boss
him there.
Man.
Yeah.
He's a
With
boy.
his little like
Proper
shaky, I need the toilet.
Yeah. He's so
When
excited.
he come in, he just beating everybody up, including
Yeah.
faces.
Yeah,
Great.
he literally punched everyone. And this elimination.
Oh.
So he dives at Flair, which Gorilla says is a good move. Well, all Flair does is a move.
We'll come back. We'll come back to this elimination later, for a reason.
Oh, okay.
Which one's better, basically?
No, we will come to the reason later.
Okay, well, basically, Bossman flops on the outside, and as he goes up, he cracks his head off the top of the fucking bottom rope,
No,
and then bounces back.
Yeah, because I think he catches his neck on the rope and goes, oh.
Oh, it's amazing.
So I think
It's
Vince
horrible.
did that, but he actually properly smacked his head in the corporate rumble on Raw.
Oh, when
China threw him out. Because I think Austin, it does like George acts, but when you see Austin walking up the ramp, he's pissed himself laughing because Vince has cracked his head.
Oh, I love that. Kayfabe dives with someone.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Austin, but with Bossman, when he did it, he's sort of like still trying to get over the ropes at the same time.
This is probably the first spot in Rumble history that there's only been one left in the ring at any given a given time, isn't
I
it?
think that started. I think 1990 they did the thing with Ted when we eliminated the first two, and then Jake.
Oh, okay.
This is like
But
this is like later on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is the first time.
And
he
it
did
just
like
works so well. He looks
Oh,
exhausted, but he somehow survived the first half of the
that.
Rumble.
And it's the first person he feuded with,
Yeah.
other than Hogan, the other
It
person.
couldn't be any better. You couldn't pick anyone better.
No.
It had to be Roddy, this did. So Roddy comes out.
Who's just won the Inter.
Yeah,
so there's
yeah.
that story.
And the
with
crowd
him as well.
pops.
Yeah.
He goes bananas, as Gorilla says on Flair. They spill outside briefly, and Piper's all over him, lays in 10 punches. He's desperate to do that fucking Piper.
He wants to. He sets it all that fine. That coach.
And does his aeroplane spin and then puts him in the sleeper, which brings out Jake Roberts, who's next. I love the characterisation of Jake just going, carry on,
Whatever.
I'm all right.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
going
give
to
a
sit down and watch.
I'm a snake.
Yeah, and obviously, when Piper's back is turning, he attacks him. It's a short-arm clothesline. Piper then stops the DDT on Flair, and obviously this is the call. Heenan thanks Piper, says
it's not
the kill.
It's a kill.
It's a kill. It's not
And then he goes, "You goat wearing freak."
It's so good. So good. Piper kicks him and he turns on him, a fucking skirt wearing bastard. The trio of punches and chops and counters, it all ends with Hacksaw. Anyway,
He's got to leave that
What a
board
man.
outside.
I'll tell you one thing though, the crowd must have seen that Harry and the Andersons episode because he gets a good old pop.
Duggan was always quite
Yeah.
high on the baby.
You know, but
face.
now, I mean, you come out now and you do.
Oh, you fucking.
No!
When he
I like
came out,
Duggan.
when he came out in Canada.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Such an underrated gem.
Why don't nobody mention that? The biggest heel.
It should be mentioned more. It was so good. Hacksaw takes out Flair and then hooks up with Jake. And Mr. Charisma is out next, IRS.
Oh, God.
He
I like IRS. Thank you.
he's the only one in the ring that isn't in the Hall of Fame at this point. He face plants Hacksaw as Jake
He got
and
released
Flair,
on tax day.
He
didn't
is
he?
until number 22.
Yeah. Double team Piper. Hacksaw recovers to break up the elimination, and Jimmy Snooker's out next.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone winces at this. He's wearing boots.
Yeah, I think he did at this point.
I think
He was
even the
sort of-
crowd are a bit like.
Yeah, you ain't the
Yeah,
same
kinda
Snooker would
same.
remember.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
go away now.
look here.
Yeah.
You look a bit weird.
At this point, only IRS is the person who's not in the Hall of Fame, as I said. Piper slaps and grabs the nose of Flair, which again I love. Now you'll tell me, Sam, I'm sure, but I'm correct in saying that Taker and Hogan could only draw between 20
Yeah,
and 30.
they did Jack Tunney did a thing because of the whole controversy
Okay.
with the belts and that. He said, okay, Hogan and Taker get preferential treatment, which I don't realise they announced on this show. That you can draw 20 through 30, which Taker must have been pissed off at. He's like, I've got the. Basically, I might as well have drew number one.
He literally has got the worst luck. He draws 20. But his first attack, he just fucking goes, fuck off, and sends
I did
Snooker
like that.
out.
I think that's probably the only
Setting
reason
up the
Snooker
thing.
was in it. It's like Yumgu in it, because that was his mania.
It does make sense to do it, but I half think Taker at this point could have done with a run of 3 or 4 eliminations.
Yeah, he
just
could
the
have done
diesel
with
Yeah.
a tornado and
earlier, like, you know.
something.
But obviously, I
Yeah.
understand with the way that you're structuring the Rumble.
Yeah, 'cause
first
it's
half,
like-
second
It's the
half.
start, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
apart from like, the odd one.
Well, in
The odd one, it's like, we need cannon fodder for the Stars to knock out,
Yeah.
basically, 8.
but yes, he throws out Snooker. Flair attacks and chokes and gets choked by Taker. Fucking Heenan's all over this.
oh no.
It's over. It's over. Everything is down the toilet. That's what Heenan said. I love the team of death and taxes as IRS and Taker team
That
up
was
on
actually a
Hacksaw.
thing according to Bruce Pritchard. They did want to do that.
It-
Vince wanted to do that.
Just because it's a funny saying,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
You would have had to have turned IRS face. It's impossible to do that.
No, I think
Fine,
he was going to be a
obviously.
heel team, but that's what they wanted.
But was he going to be a zombie? And all?
I know that they
IRS?
was going to use the fake Undertaker in the corporation, and they were going to have a run of 3 matches, Taker and Taker.
They was going to do it 3 times.
And the last
Survivor
one,
Series,
They was going to have like fucking lightning bolts and all.
Yeah, and they was going to merge
together.
What?
That's the
Hold on, hold
truth.
on.
This is the truth.
They was going to merge.
They was going to
How are they
merge.
going to do that?
I don't fucking know. Then they'd have Super Taker at
Was
the
he
end.
had 2 heads going forward?
It'd be one half grey, one half black.
Oh,
You know when
fuck
they
me, I
did the
wish that
Super Megazord? That's what.
Oh, I wish that happened now. I'd love that.
It was.
And then the
And then the match happened, and they went, oh, Brian Lee's only got one main event in it.
League.
I think we've got to do a Taker podcast.
Oh,
Just
Christ.
watching the run of the fake Taker leading up to the
Yeah,
SummerSlam.
without
Because you
doubt.
can get a few matches
That's
out of that.
amazing.
But there's a
And
podcast
then we're going to rebook
in,
it with ending in merging.
there's a podcast just in.
Brian Lee.
You've got Taker v Taker, you've got KV Kane, although we have done that.
We have done that.
You've got fucking Sin Cara versus Dark Sin Cara. You've got
Oh.
fucking Tiger Mask versus Dark Tiger Mask. There's
Yeah.
loads of these sort
The
of fucking...
twin magic.
Yeah.
Mate, that could have been what I was thinking of, is because it's mine with the twins. That could be what we do, and we try and link it and do a podcast. on
Okay,
that.
that's it. You've got a Gemini then. He's got Bobby
I've got-
Fish.
He's
you know,
a
got-
fish. Shit fish.
Uh,
Shark. We could do a shark match.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we could do it that way. I suppose we
What
could.
are you?
Yeah. Well, I'm lying now, Leo.
Oh, there's a load of it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be all right, lying off.
Jericho.
We could do a
Shit Jericho.
What's the name podcast though? You could
Star
do
Signs.
it as Zodiac podcast. An end.
Hey!
Yes.
They
No.
all
Yes.
merge
No.
together.
Yes. No.
And back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes. So, it's all down the toilet, as we're told. The next one out, I do love this as well because the camera work's quite good. That Macho Man comes out and you see the full ring, so you see Jake slide out.
Oh,
the
and
back.
he's like, but
Which is
Macho,
great.
when he pelts it, I was like, oh, I couldn't run that quick.
He's just mad.
He's meant
I
to
mean,
say.
what happens later? It's like it is a massive botch, and no one's going to tell you.
Oh, but that
Great
is
thing.
why, again, going back to the boss man thing, you've got it. They said, oh, no,
yeah.
hang on, you've got to be propelled over the ropes. That's what I thought. They should have gone, boss man, get back out. You're all right. Come
Apart
on.
from like 90% of all eliminations ever, like it's just nonsense.
Because I think on the True Story of the Royal Rumble, the DVD I've got, they do mention that. Because I think he's done it twice.
I mean, in fairness,
And they go,
it is obvious
you know what,
that someone's.
sometimes things.
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
happen.
It's just obvious that someone's just saying, well, just fucking say something for fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Because that was Booth going, I think he's out, and then all of a sudden it goes silent, and then you hear Bobby and go, no, you've
The
got to
only
be
thing I will
propelled.
say, though, is
And
that
Taker's there going,
It's
you
never-
fucked up this spot, mate.
Macho
He
Man's
always
spot in
jumped
the
out
Rumble, though, is pretty much done once
Yeah,
Jake's
that's
done
what
it.
I think.
So it wouldn't have mattered, and it probably would have made more sense for the kind of character if they did just let him go to
Whether
the back.
they, to be honest,
Just
He hates
just
Jake
chase
more
after
than
Jake.
the
because
belt.
they did have the blow-off match, which then led to Taker turning face on Jake. So I think they wanted him in the Rumble to be in the Final Four, because obviously that was the way of possibly having him as against Flair.
More than anything.
So
To
I can,
me,
I can get it.
I do get it,
can
I
see
just-
both, but it's like
I just think they created a rod for the. They don't
Yeah.
need to do it.
that they need to.
Um,
But Vince was probably good then for that. But he
Take it.
did always leave the ring like that.
Yeah.
He always jumped out, so it was like,
Yeah.
Savage, don't do that in a fucking Rumble.
Well, Taker drags him back in
Yes.
anyway, and
Yeah.
sorts
And
this shit
Savage
out.
just runs off after him again.
Yeah. Heenan and Gorilla, as I say, desperately try to cover this bullshit. Taker, the amazing face when Axel tries to dump him
Yeah.
out, which you sent a screenshot of. It's fucking
Oh, that's
amazing.
right.
I had to rewind that.
So funny. I love Taker.
Was
at
Dad
this
watching
point.
this?
He don't look like Taker, does he?
No, he's
Doesn't look anything like Taker.
You look at Ted Talk
Version,
Taker and
yeah.
this one.
Yeah,
you go, "That's
totally
not the
different
same."
person. Berserker, the Battle Royal Specialist, is out next.
What's his speciality?
Taker rolls his eyes into the back of his head as he chokes out Piper in the
It's a
corner.
battle roll. Pokemon.
Is that a type? Even Andre.
Battle roll. Pokemon.
Savage suplexes Flair back inside, and there's a weird sort of three-way choke going on as well.
The three-way
You got
choke.
Piper
Yeah.
choking Flair, and Flair choking Taker, and Taker choking Piper. It's all very strange. Virgil is out.
Said Virgil.
Yes. As Heenan tells us that he was once He once had the $1 million belt because he stole it. And
How
then
many bags has he got?
yes, because he's number 23, he's probably gone through 22 bags in the back. Oh God, the star power is waning a bit as Colonel Mustafa is out next. Former world champion.
Still with General Adnan, he's still the Iraqi, the Gulf War still going on for him.
He hooks up with Hacksaw, because of course he does. So we're back to 9 in the ring. Gorilla forgets Flair's name and keeps calling him Martel for a bit.
When I heard that Martel, I thought,
He just keeps
no,
calling
it's Flair.
And also, he mentioned Sky. I didn't know it was this early, but he says they'll be watching this in Sky. So it must have been one of the early ones, because it was about 91, 92.
91, 92, because I think it was one of the first things that launched Sky.
Wrestling one?
Yeah.
No way. Rick Martelli's out next, as Heenan talks up about the record. Gorilla rather talks up the record of the longest and the shortest. To which Bobby Heenan says, "Who cares about Bushwhacker, Luke?" I agree.
He's already had the match, and we've seen it.
They have to keep savaging because he dumps out Colonel Mustafa.
Who would he have done him?
Exactly. No one else would have.
They would have had Sid jumped out and then stand after him. Flair turns round. Sheik's there.
Fuck's sake, Sheik, you're supposed to be out.
Sheik always, like in the Battle Royal at Mania 17, he had to win it because he couldn't drive around. He got hired by WCW, did a shit job, they sent him back and still paid him. His contract rolled over and carried on paying
Isn't
him.
that the story about Greg, though, that they just forgot he was in the ring? And someone said, well, what's
No,
he
I
still
think
doing?
it was Martel.
Oh, it's Martel.
I don't know if it was because I say it's the
Patty,
first Rumble,
Patty,
but he
yeah.
wore in the first one, so I don't know if it was.
It's the one where he gets the record.
Yeah, I think 'cause I think that's when
Just because.
Pat goes, "The fuck is Martel still doing it there? Get rid of him!"
Amazing.
He wouldn't have the record, but it's Martel.
Yeah, it's
I got, don't you disparage
Martel.
Martel.
He wore like in a main
God damn it.
spot.
He never was he? Mind you, they did consider him to be one of the people that in '93 apparently.
He was in the 95 Rumble, so he shows his staying power.
Say what you will, I know everyone shits on the dubbed in and dubbed out boos at the end, but he gets a pop when he comes out. There's no doubt about that. Hogan does pop the crowd. The 3 men corner him. What a team! IRS, Berserker, and Taker. Hogan breaks out though and
Hogan,
eliminates
you
Taker.
get to pick one of these to view.
He eliminates Taker, then back body drops Berserker.
That I don't like. I think Taker should have carried on a bit, considering he's
You got to
just
give him a
been
big.
world
You
top.
got to give him a big elimination.
a little bit,
He
and,
was,
and, it,
I
and he
think.
does to the face,
Was the
and,
bigger.
you know.
I
But
don't
at the
think
same
he-
time,
He's got to eliminate Taker and all.
He has got to eliminate Taker, right?
Yeah,
But
Could be
I
fucking
think he could
IRA.
have been. I think he could have been.
Virgil eliminates Taker.
Considering the final 6, I think he could have been the final 7. And
I
then
think
do
you might argue that if he was later, because when the ring is less full, if he goes out then he don't look as dominant. Because there's a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
You can kind of just get behind the fact that he just got caught with
There's a
a
bit of a smoke
clothesline.
screen.
Good point.
Yeah.
A little
I
bit.
can see that.
Anyway, he's on for a 3-peat as he back body drops Berserker. There's only IRS left of that team.
And he choked.
And he chokes the shit out of him with his shirt.
This weird double elimination as well.
Oh, yeah, well, so over the back. Yeah, but Duncan and Virgil are having a hug, and they just sort of fall out.
It's a weird one there.
It's really strange because they've cleared
Brought
the
to
ring.
the back.
They've cleared the ring because you've got some big players coming
Yeah.
now. Skinner, the alligator man.
He was very happy.
Yeah.
Are you smiling?
He really
Or is
loves
it
it. Well,
93?
you
Well,
know,
he gets
this
a lot
is,
of offense.
this is without a
Hogan.
doubt the closest he has ever been to being world champion.
I'm good for Hogan because these could be
Yeah,
8x10s if I have
Definite.
to sell.
He did have a match with Warrior.
That'll
later
make a
on that
Carter
year,
this
so.
to be
Yeah.
Hogan.
He was on
Hogan,
Superstars.
Hogan clotheslines his way through Flair to hit Skinner. Next out is Sergeant Slaughter, who 1 year prior was winning the world title.
I thought that
can
when
he
I
do it
saw him,
again?
I thought, oh, you've dropped a bit, are
You
you?
know what? By Royal Rumble '93, he's retired. So Skinner is thrown out by Martel as Sarge tries to eliminate Flair. It's just strange. Although there is a ready-made feud in that he's a model and he's a scruff. So,
Well, the dragon's gone. So,
Yeah,
you know.
He's a scruff.
Flair.
You skin him, I'll wear him. There you
Yeah,
go.
that could have been a
There
team.
you go.
You know.
Flair has broken the record now as Heenan asks that. Well, he says, "Well, just give him the belt."
Give him the belt.
Gorilla, you can't do that.
Actually, when he eliminated Bossman, he was going, Flair's won the Rumble, he's winning. And he goes, no,
he ain't.
Will you stop? That was said a lot to already.
Yes. Big Sid comes out and continues to get his good pops.
In his blue.
Is he heel? Is he face? I don't quite understand where he is.
He's
He's over.
To be honest,
It's
it
New
don't matter
York crowd. They fucking love Sid.
it don't matter
Everyone
what
loves
you
Sid.
book him as, people love him.
He's just
Even
so
in
good.
WCW,
He's an
people love him.
when Vince is offering him the hold.
Yeah, and he goes, make me a heel.
You know when he kips up, he does the
he does-
I can't remember.
On Flair.
on the
Because
clothesline on
he-
Flair.
Yeah,
But it's like not really focused.
No,
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 I think
that's
he did that in
such a-
WCW.
that's such a fucking babyface move for that
Yeah.
bloke.
They're
That's
the kipple. I mean, athletic, the size of him, the look of him, the crowd love him.
he should.
He's got to be the man. Eh?
Yeah, it's just
With his
it
pot
doesn't make any
noodle
sense.
head as well.
He tries to eliminate IRS, and when Sid grabs Flair, the crowd pops so much.
I think he was a face. I think he hadn't turned. So I think the tag match is
Not for
after
long.
with Hogan. Where he-
Next time he's stabbing his mate.
oh yeah, actually he does
Keep
that
going.
93 in Blackburn.
Well, that's crazy. Isn't it? Gorilla ruins the surprise at the end.
Yeah,
Anyone trying to work out the surprise? Fuck off, it's Warlord.
It's Warlord, I'll tell you. Don't get your hopes up.
it's Warlord. And then Bobby, but you never know what Jack Todd is going to go. It's fucking Warlord.
Yep. He's got one in
Ah,
eight.
yeah, but that's because he goes when Warlord. He goes, actually, I told you.
I told you it's Warlord. But I think they should have not had Warlord and had just
Whipple.
what's his name? Whippleman come out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Warlord's never been closer to the world title than this. He's got a 1 in 8 chance of winning. Hogan suplexes Flair on the outside for some reason. There's a huge... Oh, God, this elimination now. So Sid propels Sarge into the corner. And like we said with the chest bump, fucking hell, he moves the ring.
I think he's done that. I think he's done that in singles matches.
But he fucking moves the
He
ring.
does move the ring.
I think I was going to say the ring always moves.
Christ almighty, Slaughter, you earned
Maybe
your
he
fucking money
Vince
that
in his
night.
ear going, the ring's not on centre.
I've never known anything like
I
it.
can't believe they planned that. I'm just launched me the fuck
Yeah.
out.
Wait, he does put over Sid as some fucking strength, though.
Weird though. I mean, he's a face.
Straight.
I mean,
You were winning the world title last year. Now you were moving the ring.
Piper uses the tie of IRS to eliminate him, and Gorilla must love this because he hates that tie, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think Dave Bobby Heenan's the other one. He's got his hold of his tongue.
Yeah.
He goes, no, it's his tie.
Yeah.
Take that fucking.
Sid and Hogan throw out the Warlord, so we're down to 6.
Where's the beef?
But,
There's the beef.
but not for long. I'm not sure with Piper whether he should have gone out with Martel. Maybe they should have got Martel first.
I think he should have had. But I know Martel and Piper was mates, and Hogan because you had the 3-way thing in the middle. Because I think that's one thing that I think they should have done when you saw Hogan and Piper fighting because of their histories. Did they say anything with that?
Well, Sid gets double elimination on them both, so we're down to 4. And to be fair, they're the 4 sort of main people, which is sensible. It's Hulk, it's Flair, it's
double
Justice,
main
and
event.
it's Savage. It is the double main event, yeah. Savage is first to go though, as he gets knee. Well, basically, Sid's trying to eliminate him, and Flair knees Sid, and that sort of just drops him out. That's what I'm saying. It didn't feel to me like
It was that important.
like it really mattered that
You
much.
tell
in
him
this
Flair
thing.
just eliminated him.
Yeah. So yeah, Savage is out. Flair can't take his bump properly as Hogan tries. I think that was the point. I think he was supposed to take his corner bump, land. Hogan tries to eliminate him.
Yeah.
Sid comes, but he can't because he's knackered, quite rightly. So Hogan just has to sort of double. Yeah. And obviously, the spot that will have been replayed over and over again. Sid comes from behind. He throws out Hogan, and Hogan turns heel. Obviously,
Yeah.
he just
Well,
he
one of
doesn't.
my notes actually says "fuck you, Hogan."
Yeah, doesn't read the room like Bret, does he? Hogan
No,
in terms of
it's
a
You
heel.
stop
Get
it.
behind me here, brother.
How dare you sneak up and eliminate me
Yeah.
legally?
Grabs his arm. Flair eliminates him. I don't know. It probably makes sense for the character of Flair and even Hogan, I suppose. Part of me just wishes if you could have replayed it, you could have got away with something. I don't know.
I know you don't like, but I did listen to because Bruce was there at this point. he'd gone.
That was
But he
why I
said-
picked it.
He said if he'd have done this, he said what he would have done is had Flair eliminate both of them
As them
together.
both fighting.
As
yeah.
them both fighting, trying to eliminate each other, have Flair knock them both out.
Yeah, I think
Because
that's
it was
maybe,
because of how
especially
much
if
it
you'd have-
made Hogan look like a heel.
Yeah, especially as you'd it's only briefly, but they teased the fact that they went through the Warlord together. If they'd have done like Hogan and Sid are sort of on the same page, then all of a sudden they turn on each other as
Yeah, it's not them fighting
think
each
Flair's
other.
fucked, he's done.
Yeah.
Whoever's left will take him, but
Yeah.
we're going to have to turn, and then all of a sudden Flair comes back to life and throws
Like
him out.
the Piper and
But
Martel
ultimately,
thing,
let's
and then-
face it, like Jack said, Hogan thought, they'll get behind me, because he's fucking
But then
stupid. He just can't read
Yeah.
the room, can he?
But I think when they replayed it, they did dub it.
Yeah.
The live
definitely.
show,
Yeah.
which I think that's the one on the network is still the live one, eh?
Yeah, because they cheer the fuck out of it. He's
yeah,
fucking
it's like,
get him out.
finally,
Yeah.
go away, Hogan, piss off.
And then in the back, after the match, Jack done his hands over the WF title.
Did you see the? I don't know. Did they do this on the network with this thing in the middle with Hogan and Sid
Oh, yeah.
arguing, and then Sid goes, "I kill you! I will kill you!"
Yeah, he does turn all.
Maybe you're a heel.
Yeah, he does turn all my
I'll
places.
kill you.
I'll eat your kid, which is brilliant.
When he's just there, like going, "Come on, then
Yeah.
fight me!" I kill you.
But they're still cheering Sid.
Exactly.
Fucking hell, I love you.
And then obviously the promo afterwards with
Put that cigarette
a
out.
tear in my eye. I love how the promo itself is so good, but it really puts over the importance of the title.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
think
point
it,
of
it,
it, isn't
it
it?
puts over the importance of the title, and it is a big fuck you to WCW. Eh?
Yeah.
With
It does
what he's
just put
saying.
over this is
This is the
That's what
the
all
title.
the biggest title, the most important thing in my life, the best thing I've ever done. And the fact that he ends with "you all pay homage to the man," I think that's the sort of
The
fuck off
fuck off.
to WCW. It is just breathtaking in terms of a match. I mean, there's two real standout performances, and that's Ric Flair and Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
without
Yeah,
a doubt.
I have actually put that best rumble, and I put Flair, Heenan, and MVP.
Well,
just-
we'll get there, but
it works.
It's
It
just,
works.
it's the best bit of commentary I think ever.
Yeah.
In terms of, I know it's
Even though it's a heel.
no one has
There's
ever
never been a
done
run
more
like
to
that.
put over one
Yeah.
match
Yeah.
and one man and one moment than Heenan
He
did.
put
in this match.
everyone over who come in as
Yeah.
a threat
Yeah,
to Flair.
Yeah, it's like, oh, God,
you've got the
Virgil
three
and
Gs.
Virgil.
And even when you said he put over Taker when he goes, "That's it, it's over." Now.
Yeah. That's when
it,
he
he's
all
done.
down the toilet. He's
Yeah.
fucked now.
And he kept saying that you've got this person, all former WF champs, you know, that
Yeah.
you know what it is.
Roddy Piper's the inter. And
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so hard to do this sort of bias kind of commentary without being sort of derogatory to the people he's fighting. And all he did is put over all the threat to Flair
Yeah.
while still putting over Flair. It's just a piece of art. It really
It
is.
is-
Such
it
a
is
good
brilliant.
rumble.
It is the
Um,
perfect run.
I can't think. I know it's so easy to get into the conversations about the best rumble and stuff, but whatever you say, this is the first time that the rumble's been this important, this good.
this made the Rumble, eh?
And no matter
this
what,
is
how
where
many
they
good
realised
rumbles,
we've got something here.
it no matter how many good rumbles come in the future, whether it's 2014 with that's Shinsuke, isn't it? No,
2018.
2018, sorry.
2001 with
2001.
Austin. 97 with Austin with his run.
Yeah, 97,
No,
2004.
that was a bit of a...
They all will go. Is it as good as Royal
It was
Rumble 92?
92.
That's
I
what
don't think there's one as good as this.
it's just.
No,
I think this
Thi-
is the
this
best
is-
one.
I know a lot of people say, "Oh, one." I think that's the other one that people argue is probably just as good. But again, it's the attitude era nonsense that the
It's still really
one.
good.
It's good, but it's number two. This is number one because it built, and it's a heel that it built.
Yeah.
Why is Vince building up a purely NWA guy who has got the NWA belt that you don't do this?
It's so sensible, though, isn't it? It's such
And
a
it's-
sensible thing because,
Yeah.
like I say, up until now, Flair has felt like a bit of a fish out of water in the
Yeah.
WWF. And the moment.
But they did do the right thing with the real world champion and have him have the belt.
Yeah,
That was the
everything,
good thing.
all of it
It's
paid off.
only because
Even
legal
in his
nonsense.
little promo at the start, he says,
Yeah.
I've been telling you that I'm the real
Yeah.
world champion, so I've got to back it up. There's no
Yeah,
back door.
for me, there's no. That's it.
Yeah, there's no back
the
door.
proper one. Yeah.
I've got to win the Rumble to prove that I'm the champ.
Yeah.
And for a heel to say that, especially Ric Flair, who's fucking a cheat, naturally a cheat, for him to say, "Look, I've got to back this up now," is him acknowledging that he's a bit of a fish out of water in the WWF.
And this is probably bigger than where he was.
Sometimes
So
the storytelling just works perfectly, but it also, and it's the last time, probably until 2000, that the top of the card is so deep. Because after this, it obviously dwindles down very quickly.
Yeah, because.
But like I say, the pops for Piper, obviously the different pops for Taker, Jake, Macho, Hogan, Flair.
Sid gets a decent pop.
The depth of the top of the roster at this point is unbelievable. It's almost like the 80s and 90s, early 90s has been building to this point where Vince has got a load of talent.
But it's just everything outside. It's just blew it all up.
And that's the problem,
shit,
because he's got to get rid of them all, because they've got to get off the roids.
The Warlord ain't doing that.
We can get rid of him. Even Bulldog, he got a Bulldog.
Well, at this point, you would look at this and you would think he's a couple of years away from being a top player.
He'd be the one that in 3-4 years' time
he's going to go.
And then you hear him talking,
it's bizarre, isn't it? That's the problem.
Well, I'll look at it when I saw him and Sean fight, and I thought, in 3 years' time, these are the first and the last two.
Yeah.
And I just thought, this is strange, but they do have really good chemistry, as you said at the time.
I like
it's
that.
Just
I struggle to.
match.
I can't find any fault with it really.
No,
other than
there ain't no fault with it.
Savage jumping over.
Even
that sort of.
That ain't your fault. That's just
even that is quite, of a darling.
It works with his character, but at the same time, I think it was how they handled it. I think that's the fault.
But if you're in the arena, you don't hear the commentary.
No, that's true. Yeah, and do you think really many people in the arena really give a shit? There might be one, two smart fans sort of sniggering to themselves, but no one would give a shit, really.
I saw some people leave. Right, watching it now.
So there you have it. That is my pay-per-view done. So it leaves us to do the round table then of match of the pay-per-view. I'll start with you, Jack.
I'm going to go with the Rumble. I think it's to have a match that's over the length of time it is with 30 moving parts.
Yeah,
and to have it that well constructed, I think is harder than the singles.
I get that.
So I would go with the Rumble.
So this is actually between two.
Yeah, we know.
I'm going to go with WrestleMania 13's match with Bret and Austin. Just as much as I love the Rumble 92, I think just because of a singles match. I think with the Rumble, it's kind of easier.
Because it's the Rumble.
Obviously, everybody's got their expectation. They love it anyway. Even the shit ones, people will watch it and, it's a Rumble.
No, not last year.
Not last year.
This year, sorry.
Not last year, it was like 2015 again. See how back.
Brock, that shit one.
It was the one that Shane booked. Shane booked everything.
And then they sacked him.
Yeah, they sacked
the Ronda one as well.
And the Ronda one. So, obviously, but at the same time, as much as fans will piss on it, they'll still watch it because it's the Rumble, it's the attraction.
Because you're arrested.
But with again, I love Bret so much, and this it is just a perfect match.
I think I'm going to go with Bret and Austin only and the only thing that I can find is just the match.
And Shamrock's
dance. Shamrock's dance is just fucking amazing as well.
But if you're going to do a hardcore, quote unquote, match, this is a perfect way of doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Make it look like a fight.
There's a proper
that's what hardcore is. Just make it look like a fight.
There's very little better than this in terms of a street fight. So worst match?
I'd go Walter Will.
I'm going to go Walter Will.
I had Owen and Liger. I'm changing my mind. I think when I think back just about the kayfabe elements of Walter and Will Ospreay, I'm going to pick that. MVP?
Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, I can't go Bobby Eaton.
Well, I just said
there's nobody better.
Bret. This might be Bret's best match. This might be Austin's best match. This might be the Usos' best match. But it is Heenan's best call. There's no doubt.
The best bit of commentary.
And for doing it for an hour straight.
Yeah, it's
just putting over everything.
Yeah, I
Even
can't.
before Flair come in, he had that little,
Yeah, just,
you know, he's
the nervous energy that he had at the start. It's just brilliant. It has to be Heenan.
And to do with the heel, in a way, you kind of feel sympathetic to him.
Little
So
bit,
you know what? I'd be like that if that was me.
Yeah. But he has just bet his old money on it.
That's true.
And LVP, I mean,
LVP.
mine's Hogan because he could have, if you really want to analyse it, he could have spoilt that Rumble.
He was close. Yeah,
I'd probably go Hogan.
And he's the only thing that could have hooked his balls.
I'm going to go Hogan just because
it probably, in a sense, helped Sid even more.
It did. You just put over Sid more. And that's why when, again, with WrestleMania 8, that's why people love Sid more and want you to fuck off for a bit.
Yeah. He definitely needed a break.
He needed to go.
He probably needed.
Unfortunately, when he come back,
really.
he kind of ruined everything.
He
For a
does
while,
if you don't change the character, it's everybody's Austin added.
It's what I said earlier.
That's
on,
what, that's what Austin turned heel. That's what he thought he was getting straight.
I struggle with really formulate things. I said about Brock, like, you need sometimes to add that sort of jeopardy to it. And ironically, even though Hogan's match was always about will he Hulk up, it was like, you will Hulk up. That's what it got to. It's not like... And I get that you want to keep him strong, but he's only lost 2 matches ever. And
early 90s, people was fed up with
Warrior
it. That's why
even then he did all these...
WCW, I think, although now, looking back, he says, oh, sorry. He died because he did it in WCW.
No, he was hanging on to it.
He was hanging on too much. I think he thought. Now he says he realised that people.
Well, did he see it because
the money
Scott Hall and Kevin Nash got a really big reaction?
Yeah, and then he went, you know what, I've got to join that.
I fancy a bit of
I mean, even Nash
is a vampire.
I'm going to run out of them.
Definitely.
But I think he did. He got more comfy later on. But anyway, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
later.
We'll be back for that, no doubt.
We will
at all. But there you have it, folks. The greatest pay-per-view ever concocted is over and in the books for the year.
Debatable.
And that is the 3rd of our birthday boys. But we'll be back next year for something creative around our birthdays. Then that's us starting off the month of August. But we will be heading to our favourite summer party, although this year it's not in August. It is SummerSlam, and we'll be checking out 2016's offering. Are you looking forward to seeing Brock Lesnar murder
Randy Orton,
Jericho
kick off as well?
Yeah, it's about 3 matches.
There's about 4 matches, and all about 15 minutes.
Is that the one where half the crowd called Indy?
No.
That's a Mania, that was, I think. That was
where
was that
Ryback v Kalisto.
That was Mania,
or with Matt Hardy as well. I
mean, I think that was one of the reasons one of them left, or it? I think it was Austin Aries said he fought in front of pretty much he
fought
on
him and Neville had the Cruiserweight title match on the kickoff, but he wore even on the DVD, and he's even on the network.
That's what
Yeah,
but he's shit, isn't he? The guy ate Austin Aries.
He is a heel and he is a wanker.
He is a wanker. He's got all these...
Wanker!
He's got all these conspiracy things as well.
Don't tell Jesse Ventura, he'll have him on his show. But yes, we'll be back for that. And our character dive in the month of August is the life of Brian's. I incorrectly said it'll be out in July, but I won't have time. So it will be out in August. You'll be able to check out the life of the 2 greatest Brians, Brian Adams, Brian Clark, obviously.
Not the singer.
And we will then be back in September with some... I don't even know what we're doing in September.
Beaver Cleavage.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. The Wrestle Cup winner. Beaver Cleavage. We will be doing a...
possibly other Wrestle Cup.
He's going up to... That one's the one that's going up tomorrow. The winner of the Wrestle Cup in July for the worst 90s gimmick was Beaver Cleavage. And we're going to be doing a Chaz Warrington podcast.
Chaz.
How are we doing that? But yes, we'll be doing a
Listen
deep
to the
dive.
podcast and you'll find out why from me.
But there you have it, folks, from Jack Chance himself.
Goodbye.
And from Sam Chance.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, folks.
Eugene, get out here now! Dear, 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 dear. Someone has lost their temper, haven't they? I hate to be the one to inform you, lad, but Eugene isn't here this week. You honestly don't think that I would lead that lamb to slaughter? No, no, no. What kind of a man do you think would let Eugene into the building last week? Rather a perplexing question, isn't it? What kind of a diabolical villain do you think would tell Eugene to get involved in your match? It was me, sunshine. You see, me and you know each other very well indeed, don't we? Let me give you people a little history lesson. 11 years ago, me and you were a tag team in WCW. In fact, I was your mentor, wasn't I? Yes, indeed, I was. What can I say? I mean, let's face facts. Some people like us, we're just born naughty. We are. That's why we gravitated towards each other. And if you would have used and abused anyone else except for that poor dear boy Eugene, I would have applauded your cunning. But for a clever man like yourself, it was very foolish to take advantage of a disadvantaged boy, because now you've made an enemy out of me. And if you want to fight, look no bloody further, because I will quite gladly now go and change into my ring attire, and I will join you back in that ring, and I will battle you with every ounce of violent venom that runs through my veins. Yes.